On, guys, good evening. Want to hop up here and provide you guys with some commentary and some content. So kind of vague mulatto topics, but I'm going to go over a couple things. I appreciate you guys being here. We got Renata Mulatto. Really appreciate you being here always. We got the Blaxican guy. Shout out to you. And then we got the Pyro Ballista in the house. Shout out to you. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you guys being here. I know it's kind of late, depending on where you're at. Where I'm at, it's kind of late, but as of late, this is kind of the time frame that I'm able to jump up here and kind of chit chat with you guys. So someone shared this to me. I don't know, maybe the individuals listening, shout out to them. But someone shared this video with me actually, they through email. And of course, you guys, if you guys have anything you want to run by me, you want me to cover, etc., hit up my email. Shoot me an email, mulattovanguard@gmail.com. Also go to my Instagram page, send me a direct message, etc., or Facebook as well. You guys know where to reach me. And someone sent me this video, so I checked it out, and I think it's worthy enough to kind of give some commentary on it. So it says here, on the road with Rob, Jenny Reuter, the mulatto problem. The mulatto problem. This is Team Rob videos. It's just some pro black guy, okay? So just going to cover his commentary and what he has to say about this particular video of this mulatto woman who is telling her side of the story. Whatever, let's just check it out.
So, y'all, I saw this video of this mixed lady named Jeannie.
It's like,
What is like? What is like?
what? Being biracial is like literally walking this tightrope.
Look at those. We're gonna break this bitch down. And
right off the bat, his language, he calls her a B. It's very subtle. You guys hear that? He said, we're gonna break this B down, meaning we're gonna analyze. He's gonna give commentary on her. But of course, you have a mulatto man here giving commentary on that boy. But listen to how subtle he is with the B word, calling her that. It flows off his tongue very subtly, right? Who basically gives that a pass? Only the biracial baby mama will say that's acceptable to call this random woman the B word, right? Listen to this.
we're gonna break this bitch down.
You guys hear that?
2 more videos, and we're gonna look at those. We're gonna break this bitch down.
He literally said, we're going to break his words, okay, verbatim, not mine, his words, quote unquote, we're going to break this bitch down. Why is he calling her a B? Why? Because she doesn't identify as black. She identifies as mixed. And they have an issue with that, especially dark-skinned Bantus. They have an issue when the women don't identify with them because they know they're losing access, right? The goal for them is to bastardize the women to have control, to have influence, right? So only the biracial baby mama is going to defend this guy. Nobody, everyone else is looking at him like, yeah. So this is why he uses these choice words for, right? If it's a Dr. Umar, what is he going to call her? A mixed race queen, right? Do you identify as black 24/7? You a mixed race queen, right? So they changed the verbiage. But with this guy, I sensed, hostility in his voice when I listened to this guy's this commentary. It's like, why are you referring to this lady, this woman, as a B right off the bat? What did she do to you? What did she do to you? It's because she doesn't identify with you. You have an issue with that. So this is something for you guys to take notes on.
And let her have a fucking seat. Anybody who thinks like this gonna have a motherfucking seat after we get through with this shit. All right.
He says anybody who who thinks like her needs to have a seat, needs to basically, quote unquote, be quiet, or what they're trying to invalidate you. Just be quiet. Let me disrespect you. That's literally the proposal that they're giving to you. Like, what do you get out of it? I know, like, the biracial baby mamas, they want to fit into Blackistan. That's their goal. They have nothing else going on in their life. So this is 5 years ago. This guy is, someone sent this clip to me, so I'm covering it right now. But shout out to the guy who sent it to me. But this is 5 years ago, yeah. But I'm like, man, things are changing rapidly. The influence of mulattoes are growing. We've always been here, but we're collectivizing like you've never seen before. The consciousness, the mulatto consciousness, is growing. And so this is outdated, arguments and philosophies this guy's pushing here, trying to maneuver us in this binary position and like you either gonna pick us or pick the whites. I'm not picking any of you people. I'm over here with the mulattoes. That's it. But this guy's still operating on this like plantation politics slave mindset, So they're greatly offended when you don't identify with them, when you don't allow them to get all uppity with you. They're greatly offended by that, right? And their main target, they target the women. They know it's an easier target. I've said this many times, not only on this channel, but my other channel, when I've covered Phil Advise Show and some of the other pro whacks, where they know that the women are easier target to manipulate them using, nefarious psychology and just manipulation tactics, gaslighting, etc., to kind of maneuver these women to doing their bidding. Like you look at the guy, the Nature Boy, he's a pro whack. He had a bunch of mixed women he was able to kind of manipulate. Right. Yeah. Because they know a lot of these people, they want acceptance. They want to be down with the hood and get acceptance. And they can easily manipulate them. But once they have a kid by one of these Bantu guys, like it's just kind of a wrap. Like, because your kids are black, whatever, okay? And so you're a part of that community now. So you just got to kind of deal with it. And so let's continue on with this.
Listen to what she has to say.
So last week, I posted a video that was quite the controversy. It actually caused me to lose my job. But it's actually open.
Caused her to lose her job, posting a video. It was controversial. Let me see, who snitched to the white massa to get you to lose their job? Oh, let me guess. Let me guess. Who snitched to the whites, right? It's funny because they always tell you, I don't trust you mulattoes. You work for the whites. You're giving the whites information. You say something the fucking Bantu doesn't like. What do? They go cry to their white massa to try to get you fired. It's so typical. I'm just surprised that you mulattoes act funny style when you run into a character like me. I'm just surprised because the projection is just, they cry and complain all day. And they tell you, like the guy, the title of his video says the mulatto problem. They always position you as being suspicious. Well, you're working for the whites secretly. We were Kangs and Quains in Egypt, in Kemet. But those mulattoes, they were giving information to whites. They undermined us. This is the stereotypes they put on you guys. Right? And then what do? They snitch you out to their white massa, get you fired because they don't like your opinion or a couple words you said because you called them a fucking Bantu. And then so they're going to snitch to their white massa on your ass. It's hilarious. Like, yeah, let's continue on. This is hilarious.
Opening a lot of doors, and I'm here to discuss how unfair it is to be biracial in America.
Unfair.
So my DNA contains 50% Caucasian and 50%.
So it's a victim kind of position. How unfair. Life is not fair. Some people are born with advantages, disadvantages. We all have advantages, disadvantages, right? We all do. All do. And yeah, so like life isn't fair. I just don't like the positioning of the victimhood position. That's so disadvantaging biracial. Stop trying to entertain these Bantus, period. Mulattoes who relieve themselves of the chaos and the savagery of these ungrateful Bantus, they're in a far better position. It's these mulattoes who are involved in the kind of liberal arts and all this stuff. They're still entertaining these like Afrocentric spaces. You're going to run into all these problems with them. Get away from them. I was talking with a lady. She's in a shout out to her. I was about the black fatigue phenomenon in the white spaces. They're kind of pushing that right now, talking about black fatigue. Excuse me, a lot of white people in their spaces. And I was telling this lady, like, the black fatigue thing, yeah, I would think we all kind of experience that maybe at a position at a point in time, even black people themselves, if they're going to be honest. But it's like, if you're dealing with the kind of lower grade, lower class levels of people, and where they have the majority and where they make the rules, where it's very kind of rigid and tribalistic and emotionally unstable, then it's like, yeah, you're going to have some fatigue after a while. You're going to be like, I got to get the hell out of here. I got to get around civilized folk. And, but you alleviate yourself from all those problems if you just get the hell away from them. That's why it's crucial and critical for mulattoes to create their own spaces. I have a YouTube channel, I have other social media, right? The platforms, whatever. And so that essentially these are spaces that I've created that is catered to the mulatto identity, mulatto cohesion, unapologetically. And I encourage other mulattoes to do the same thing. Create your own spaces for social media. That was one of my missions, or one of my my call to actions, for the recent newsletter. Basically, I was telling you guys, create your own space, create your own social media, connect with people. That's it. Like every day, every week, whatever, every month, like I find new mulatto finds my page, finds my social media. People are inspired to create content and stuff. That this is it. Like we have to continuously push this momentum. It's growing. It might seem minimal now at the moment. It might seem like, well, there's this creator there, this guy there. We all have lives. We're all busy. I'm hopping up here late at night for me. Shit, I'm doing what I can. But like the fact is that we're putting work in. We're letting people know we're here, the visibility, and people will see this. They're going to be inspired, and more people are going to create their own spaces, right? That specifically caters to the mulatto identity, mulatto community cohesion, etc. So let's continue on.
African American. So if I make a joke about white Trump supporters who want to legalize incestuous marriage, now I'm racist against white people. But if I make a joke about ghetto black girls that wear those really fake looking eyelashes, now I'm racist against black people. And it's like,
What is like? What is like?
What? Being biracial is like literally walking this tightrope where one side is Caucasian and the other side is African American.
It's because the binary, like I've already mentioned, the binary is split. Get out of that. Seek the wholeness of mulatto. When you play that game, this side, that side, and this, like they're gonna use that against you. They've effectively been doing that for years now. They're always like, the whites are gonna use your black against you, right? And they're more kind of definite, and they've been pretty consistent in like how they've othered you, right? It's with black where they'll change, they'll say, well, black comes in all shades and we're all mixed, and then they'll fucking cry colorism and featureism. I thought about that earlier, just how ridiculous a lot of them sound, where they'll gaslight you and they'll tell you, well, black comes in all shades, all black people are mixed, but then they'll turn around and cry colorism. They'll turn around and cry and say, well, you got a white mom, so, you're a different type of biracial. It's like, shut your black ass up. I thought like we're all the same. I thought we're all mixed, or that the white man sees me as like one of you people. Like, you see, so they play that game with you, and it's a control mechanism they have in place to maneuver you, to kowtow you, and to invalidate you. And you guys still play that game with them. Not all of you. The people over here, they get it. But you still have some of these kind of outliers or people floating around out there who are playing this binary nature. Like, you have to embrace the mulatto identity. There's no ifs, ands, or buts moving forward. And you're not alone. That's my goal here with my mission here. You're not alone. You got other mulattoes who have figured out, who realize we're our own people, we're our own race. It's on us. Okay, let me continue on.
And you're not allowed to fall off onto one side or the other because you can't identify fully with one culture or the other. But society will put you in a box and tell you which one's more comfortable for them to identify.
Yeah, society will put you in a box, but you have to challenge society. Develop some courage. It's going to be tough. You're going to feel like you're alone. You're going to have literally tens or hundreds of people against you. But me as a man speak like that gives me honor and pride, knowing I can stand on my own 2 feet and fight. And that all these people, like even people who don't like each other, they'll team up like Voltron just to go against you. They see this mulatto problem as this black pro-whack. The name of his like title, his stream, he says the mulatto problem. Like, so even people like that he doesn't like he'll be beefing with white guys, but this Bantu will team up with white boys to go against mulattoes. This is what they always do to maneuver us. So that's the thing for me, that gives me pride, a sense of pride. I'm like, oh yeah, they have to team up. They know that I'm that much of a threat. I'm that much of importance. that they have to come together and develop some type of kind of coalition temporarily, but in order to try to take me down or humble me. And when they're not effective, when you see their will get broken, it's like, yeah, just pushing another inch, you're being successful.
You as. So I'm proud as hell to be two races, and I'll never choose which race I identify with most, and you're just gonna have to deal with it.
Now, listen, that was the first video I saw of the bitch. And when I saw that,
again, you see how comfortable he's calling her the B word, how comfortable he is referring to her. I have to lay it out there because the biracial baby mamas, they're always going to defend their baby daddies, right? And I'm saying that because these are the main opposition. When the mulatto man hops up here and is proudly mulatto, speaks for other mulattoes, hey, we have something in common. Let's develop a space where we are validated, where we're centered, where our voice matters. It's not black people who are my main opposition. It's not the wing nats or white nationalists. Everyone else has their own spaces. They have their own echo chambers where they're allowed to exist. Everyone accepts that. It is the biracial baby mama who's trying to prove her loyalty to the black race who is going to be the main opposition to mulatto men who want to build a space for mulattoes. It's been that way since I've been doing this for 3 years. This is why I'm saying that. So, and listen to this black dude where he's calling her openly a B. It just flows off his tongue so comfortably. Like, what did this woman do to you? I guess he always talks to women like that. Listen to his hip hop and all that. Okay, I guess, look at your guys' crime rates. That's a white supremacist talking point. Yeah, well, you guys sing and dance to these songs. Not like us. These criminal songs. You falsely accuse people, slander people. That's the culture you guys dance and promote. Baby mamas and all this. Yeah, okay. Live with it. So I'm just wanting to point that out, like how he's comfortable referring to his woman who's not even like a threat to him or not even being negative. It's one thing if she said something to you and you say something back, that's completely different, right? Because I know, because there's a guy, he's one of my stalkers. I got one stalker out here. Everyone, you guys all know who he is. And he'll on his like one of his sock puppet troll accounts, he'll be like, Mulatto Vanguard attacks the women. He'll put that attacks for like, okay, responding to somebody's slander is not attacking. But see, that's the language they'll use to try to kind of discredit you and to slander and defame you. See, there's a big difference between responding or matching someone's energy versus quote unquote attacking. But this is where the kind of the forced language is being used. But this guy here, it's completely unwarranted for this Bantu pro-whack to sit there and call this woman a B for expressing her opinion. It's because he's threatened by the fact that she identifies biracial as not black. Because if she identified as black, he would look at her as, oh, that's a mark. He could easily punk her, bastardize her, make her a baby mama, neutralize her, and also put a battery in her back against the mulatto men. That's what they're very much well known for. You guys know this. Even you guys who are light-skinned black, who are not even mulatto, and you tune in, listen to me, you like me, you vibe with the message. There's a lot of overlap. You guys know this. They do the same thing in your group, an African American group, with the women, right? Like even I shared a video or a live stream with Charlemagne the God, where he's talking to his white guy, Andrew Schultz, and he's telling him he never roots for a light-skinned man. We're like, how is that socially acceptable for this guy to say that? But then the white guy, Andrew Schultz, asked him, what about the light-skinned women? He's like, oh, they're cool. They're all good. You see, they do that to you guys. That's why you guys listen to me. You see how fucked up it is, how they'll put a battery in the back of their baby mamas to attack you and shit. And it's like, you guys got to call it out. I can't be the only dude out here calling it out. More of you guys got to speak up because it's getting pretty ridiculous.
it was problematic, everything that she was saying, making it seem like being mixed race is just so hard. It's just hard place to, kind of identify as. Like it's just a tough spot. Now I can understand how it could be a confusing spot, but making it seem like you just dealing with all types of different oppression because
you guys see how he throws the word confusing, right? That's a projection on them, on their part. They're confused because they'll call you black one day, the next day they'll say you're not black. Nobody's more confused than the conquered slave in North America. Don't get it twisted. But they use that word. It's a buzzword. It's an anti-mulatto slur they throw at you. He's like, well, I don't think it's difficult, but I would say it's confusing. She's not, nobody's more confused than you. Okay, Mr. Bantu, the narrator, giving his commentary, right? Because you're doing this whole video trying to convince her to identify with you. Well, I'm going to play it all. I'm going to play more of it. I'm just pausing, talking, vibing. But I just want to mention that and pause because you got to catch that when they speak and they throw that word confused out here. That's the Bantu who's trying to gaslight you into identifying with them, doing their dirty work. This is what they do. They say you're confused. I'd rather be confused than be at the bottom of every metric. Call it whatever you want. This is how it is. I'd rather be confused. I already studied you people. I know you people. This is where we're at today. I'm one guy, but our voices are growing. Deal with it.
Because you're mixed. Like, stop playing these games. All right? Stop playing these games. Because fact of the matter is, the only people that are racist against you is that white side you claim you're so proud of. It's interesting.
Do you guys agree with that? I wanted to pause there and make sure. He said the only side that's racist against you is that white side you're so proud of. And that's going to be a continuous trend throughout the stream. He's going to mention that. The only people that are racist against you is your what? Really? Talk to these biracials who have a white mom, how racist the Bantu is against them. Right? Talk to these biracials who, if they're Republican or vote for Trump, and how racist the Bantus are against them, like a Sage Steele, right? Or Meghan Markle, who has a black mother, but she chose a white male partner. Like, talk to these people, how racist the Bantu is against them. But it's funny, the projection, they're going to sit there and tell you, well, you know, it's only your white side that's racist, you know. Us Bantus, we're so accepting and so warm and loving. We love everyone. And this guy's calling her a B, out her name, just nonchalantly in the video. But he's still going to fix his lip to turn around and be like, he's so accepting. It's those whites are racist. Are the whites calling her a B? This guy, listen to his voice. He's openly showing hostility towards this woman, calling her a B. But see, this is the trickery. It's only naive, gullible mulattoes who are still falling for this shit. 2025, I've been giving my commentary on this stuff for like almost 3 years now. In July, it'll be like 3 years. And it's like, and other people have been doing it longer than me. But it's like, man, some of these cats, they find my content or whatever. It's like, you might think I'm harsh, but I've been covering this stuff, and these people are very bold. Like I said, this video was 5 years ago. This guy calling her a B, calling her confused, telling her it's only your white side that's racist. Us blacks, we're so accepting. We're gonna call you a B, out your name, and all. We're like, okay. Only the gullible sucker mulattoes are still falling for the Blackistan gaslighting tactics. And only the biracial baby mama will find that acceptable because they've kind of made their bed. They got to sleep in it, basically. The rest of us mulattoes, especially you guys tuning in over here, you guys get it. You guys already get it. That's why you're here. Shout out to you guys. Got much love for you guys.
And mixed people leave that out a lot, don't they? They want to act like victims, but no one's being racist towards you but your white side that you so.
Which is all cap and a lie. I had to talk about this in this video. That's how they position it. No one's being racist towards you but your white side. No, we get racism from blacks, from whites, from everybody. That's part of life. How we deal with it. The fact is, the racism, there's a beneficial element to it because it gets us to be activated. It gets us to be active and start to look at the reality of the situation. Our consciousness is growing and developing. We realize, oh shit, we've been fighting so hard, caping for Bantus. They've been throwing us all over the damn bus, under the bus for the past 10 years. We got to basically take a step back and do our own stuff. And so, in a sense, like, their hatred is benefiting us. It's empowering us. But it's the gaslighting for me that's just off the charts, where he's like, it's only your white side. They're the ones who really don't like you. But then when the whites hire us for jobs like Zendaya or Barack Obama, they turn around and cry racism. The only reason why Obama was president because he's a mulatto. He got a white mom. He half white. They wouldn't want a dark-skinned black in there. Isn't that what the irritated genie was saying? pro-whack, black supremacist, right? Anti-mulatto. That's what they say. They turn around and tell you it's only the whites who are racist towards you. Blacks are so accepting. But then they cry colorism. They talk about light skin privilege. They turn around and say, well, you get all these roles in Hollywood in this position because you're mixed. It's an agenda in sports and the NFL and NBA. They got all these mulattoes and NBA. It's an agenda. So which one is it? Are you privileged or right? If the whites are so bad to these mulattoes, why are they hiring them? Why are they giving us money? Why are they giving us money? That's I love the gaslighting of the Bantu is so amazing. It's out of this world. Let me continue.
Proud of. Let's go. Let me go to her TikTok and we're gonna listen to this little gay ass hoe ass apology.
And there you go. Gay ass, hoe ass apology, right? That's his words and not mine, just repeating what he said, right?
That she tried to make, but then follow it with this other shit. Watch this shit.
Last week, I made a video that caused a lot of people a lot of pain and offense.
And the thing is, I'm going to say this before I finish off what she's saying. Like, the fact that she apologizes an L, right? The fact that you have the rapper Miss Mulatto, who changed her name, is an L. The mulatto who kowtows to the communita is a major L. It's an L. There's no way else to put it. It's an L. You got to stand firm in this. But, I think a lot of these people, they feel like they're out there kind of by themselves. They don't have support. They don't have a support system, a hub, a headquarters, a network, a think tank that can for resources and a catalog to give them information and be like, hey, you have resources to help you through this, to navigate through this. Talk to this person. They can help you out with that. Like a lot of these mulattoes are kind of lost out there. They don't know where to go. And that's my mission here, is to let them know you do have a spot. You have a tribe. There's people here. We're growing and we're connecting with each other. And they're doing everything they can to destroy this, sabotage my name. I'm nobody special, right? The goal for me is to make sure more of you guys wake up and make your voices be heard. They can never defeat us. We are the future. The future is ours. And so if they want to try to pin it down to one guy, like the Mulatto Vanguard and all this stuff, the goal here is for you guys to get your voice out. Start your channel, start your social media, get your voices out. We have to continue to grow this consciousness so people like this don't feel like they're alone. That's the whole goal. You guys are not alone. You have a tribe. You have people who respect you, who identify with you, who sympathize with you, who understand what's going on. So I think that's the thing with this lady here, where she just probably doesn't have a lot of support around her. Maybe like the LGBT community might kind of give her some kind of support, I guess, in a sense, but there's a hierarchy there in that community as well, right? Where the white gays are kind of on top of the whole lesbian, for sure, the lesbian with the feminist shit, lesbian, the white women are on top of that. And with the gay stuff, the white males are on top of that. So even in that whole kind of group LGBT, there's a hierarchical structure of race, and whites dominate that. That's why they had to include the kind of brown and black stripe on the rainbow flag to kind of make them, the other groups, the colored people, feel included. But there's still, and I've heard this from LGBT people before as well, how they kind of felt like they were excluded, and there's a lot of racism in that group. Of course, yeah, because race is at everything in the United States, America, this society. And everybody else, they allow them autonomy, but it's the mulatto, they want to deny you autonomy. It's unfortunate that you have the conquered slave, the Bantu, that works with the Anglo to neutralize mulattoes, to deny your autonomy. It's unfortunate, but that's what we see going on. That's what we're witnessing. And over here, we will report it. That's what we're doing now. Let me continue on.
And first, I want to say the video that she's talking about, that she talked, I guess maybe said something negative about black women and the fake ass eyelashes, which them shits are trash. I don't know what all she said, but y'all know I talk about that. This shit trash. I don't understand what these goddamn, I don't know what's going on with these eyelashes, but I don't know where that video is. I couldn't find that one. So maybe she deleted it since this, but she's apologizing for that.
And I'm just here to tell you guys, I am sincerely sorry from the bottom of my heart.
Right.
As many of my viewers know, I am a comedian and I am mixed race.
Sorry to who? Not to white people. Sorry to her black followers. This is the issue. You have mulatto people who they rely on an entire black audience or entire white audience. So they're at the will of their audience, of that group specifically. Or a guy like me, it's like you like this or you don't. If you don't like it, have a good day. See if you can find it somewhere else. See if there's any other content creator who's creating this, because this isn't even full time for me. If I really did this like every day consistently, which could be a possibility, but it's like I just don't see anything out here that's like this specifically, which of course, because I'm unique, one of a kind in my own opinion. But it's like when you have these content creators who they built this persona, like she's a comedian, but you rely on like black people, you're inauthentic. And I've had a gentleman who consulted with me who is really having some kind of like life questioning his reality, his career, because he's like he didn't realize. He's like, my his business, his job is like centered around black people. He's a leader in a black organization, but he's like he identifies as mulatto. And his consciousness is he's waking up and growing and he's realizing like, man, and he consulted with me. He was like, it doesn't seem like it's a right fit. He was asking me what to do. I'm like, well, damn, I'd never tell you guys to give up your money, your position, all that. But there is a risk when you rely your financial stability and your livelihood on other people who are not you. Okay, you share something with them for sure, the culture, the white American, black American, you share a lot with them, but historically and even modern times culture right now, you guys see for what it is, these mulattoes who are finding my page, like you're your own group and tribe. And this is why when you start your social media, understand the demographic, the people you are marketing to or preach, or not even preaching. I'm not a preacher, but like your message, you're spreading your message to. What from day one, my whole goal was I want to connect with mulattoes. I want to talk to mulattoes. And I reference this all the time when I was out in London with Afropean Monica. And we were chit-chatting, we're just talking about like future goals, whatever. And I told her, like, well, basically, I'm fulfilling everything I sought out to do. Like my goal was to connect with mulattoes, and I'm living proof of that. We're sitting here and the castle, what, not the castle, the palace, Buckingham Palace. And I was telling her like this is everything I've envisioned. I want to travel the world. I want to connect with mulattoes and make friendships with mulattoes. That's it. Like that's my for me, my mission, fulfilling that mission. And people have to be intentional about that. And I think this consciousness is growing. Like I said, the woman who put the video several years ago, over 5 years ago. So who knows, like if she would have started now, I'm advising you mulattoes, mulattas who are listening to me. If you want to start a career, you're doing your education, your social media, your comedic or merchandise, what you're doing, understand the market you're marketing towards, market your material towards mulattoes, invest in the future. We're growing, we're not going anywhere. And some people get short-sighted. They're thinking, well, I just want to, make a ton of money or get these numbers and give their material up for black people. But then when you have a black audience, you're at their will. I was talking to, she's in the chat, Renata Mulata. We were laughing because I saw somebody, we all know who he is. And he made a song about like mulatto power or something like that. So he made a song, whatever, mulatto something, and we're laughing like his audience is all black women, black females, but he's still like trying to do this like mulatto thing, like trying to grift off mulattoes or something, where it's like, why are you making music about biracials or music about mulattoes when your audience is entirely black female? You need to make black female love songs, bro. And see, that's the issue that people run into. Like they have to be aware of their audience. Let's continue on with this.
So I've used my personal experiences to create satirical videos that poke fun at both the black and the white aspects of my life. My motive has always been to create content that I think my viewers will enjoy and find funny and be able to relate to. It's never been to condemn, demean, or disparage. This video actually caused me to lose my job that I loved of 3 years. And I never meant to offend anyone. And I received nothing but hate mail and death threats since. Now that I have over 100,000 followers, I'm going to be much more aware of the content that I put out.
Right.
It's a new year and I want to be better for myself.
Yeah, the apology, I'm not a big fan of that. Why apologize? Why? Apologizing for who you are. I don't know. I don't like that. You got to be proud about who you are, unapologetic.
Sure, and y'all got to deal with it. Then this apology claiming that this is some type of tightrope that she has to walk on and choose a culture, and y'all got to deal with it. Then this apology, and she went on to make a, she's actually done another apology since. I'm not going to play that stupid ass apology because it's the same shit she just said.
He's very dismissive of her. You guys notice that his tone of voice, this guy, the creator who put his video up, like, why is he so dismissive of her? What is she saying that's offensive? If someone puts a video about me and they're black and they don't like the video, it's like, oh, okay, I get it, you're black. Like, my content's not really for you. Okay. My content is specifically for mulattoes. Everyone listens. I mean, I have people around the planet, whatever ethnic, extraction or configuration they are. People tune in and listen. It's a public platform, right? But I'm unapologetic about who I center in the discussion, the channel. Look at the damn channel name. Look at the name of the stream, Mulatto Topics, right? So, but like this guy here, like he has such a, like, he's offended by her because they're very offended. I'm saying they, Afrocentrics, are very offended and threatened when a mulatto doesn't identify with them. When they're firm and they, like, this lady identifies biracial, it'd be better if she kind of maneuvered into the mulatto, the wholeness category, be one, because when so that's the whole goal. But like, she's not doing anything negative. She's not doing anything anti-black, right? And they claim everything anti-black, right? If you order a cheeseburger with extra onions, they're going to tell you that's anti-black. So you can't take them seriously today, 2025, right? Because they've already worn that out, the race card thing. And but yeah, this woman, nothing she's doing that's warranted to kind of throw her under the bus or to speak hostile about her in that hostile tone. But because they look at it as treason for you to be a mulatto and not identify as black solely, they want 100% of your how do I say this? They want 100% of your basically commitment to them, but yet they give you nothing in return. They give you this fake kind of acceptance, the crusty barbecue stained black card, right? The metaphor for the acceptance, and then they can pull that card any second, right? Any moment they get a little emotional, right? They'll tell you, you ain't black, you ain't like us. Like, I'm not playing by those games with you people. I've already figured that out a minute ago. I'm not playing with the people, but again, it's different because I'm a dude. Like, so they oftentimes they'll try to target the women and gaslight and try to trick the women to identify with them, and then they get super hostile when the ladies don't identify with them. I saw that earlier on TikTok. There's a mulatto woman who has a TikTok page and she's doing content. She's already has her merchandise line up. I love that. Already with the branding and stuff. And the same black guy who was like trying to, argue with me in my TikTok page, I saw this same guy in her page. I'm like, they're so invested in trying to get mulattoes to identify with them. And then they lie and turn around like that's not the case. Nobody cares what y'all think. You could say what you want. The white man, my massa, who's paying my check and kicking my butt, he's going to let you know that you one of us and all this. So I see the same characters, the same guy, man, who is in my comment section over in this other lady, not the one on the screen, but a different lady who kind of just started out her social media endeavor or whatever. But let's continue on.
Again, but I will play this. And this is what the fuck these mixed motherfuckers like to do sometimes.
This is what these mixed motherfuckers like to do sometimes. I thought we all black, homie. Is that what you said? Wait, what? Now we're mixed motherfuckers? Which one is it, bro? I thought we just black like you according to the white man, right? But now all of a sudden he's laying that delineation. Oh, all of a sudden we're mixed now. Oh, got it. Yeah. The whole switcheroo, right? Only the biracial baby mama falls for that shit. Nobody else takes him seriously.
And this is what I'm going to focus on the most. Look at this shit. Mix. Really, ho?
to them, it's treason to them when you're mulatto and they're proud to be mulatto. Like in this woman's case, she's mixed. She's proud to be mixed. And look at her smile. Like she's happy. She likes who she is. She has a healthy sense of self, a healthy ego. That's a good thing. Like she's proud. Like she embraces both her cultures. She had the cowboy, then like the dashiki and stuff, the African European. Like that is a good thing. But you see, he has an issue with that. He's threatened by that because he wants to bastardize mulattoes and to dominate and conquer mulattoes. And they understand psychologically that is their main vehicle. They're going to go that process they're going to go through. So they want you to identify with them so they can use you and have influence over you. Once you don't identify with them, they lose all their influence. You sit there and laugh. Their next course of action is to call you a racist or anti-black. Then they're going to cry to their white massa. That's step number 2. That's what they always resort to. They can't just leave you alone and let you be. Well, you talking about black folks. Well, you're talking about mixed folks. Dumb motherfucker. That's why I'm up here late at night talking. Ho. Yeah. You see how that works? Because there'll be people coming to my comment section. Well, you're talking about black folks. I'm like, bitch, you're talking about us. This dude is talking about this mulatto woman. So you're damn right I'm going to watch it and provide my commentary on it. See, this is how the world works. But they don't like that. They only want it one-sided. They want to have the microphone and they want to silence you. And you just got to put up with it because their white massa is going to put you in check. Those days are over, boy. Not over here.
Really? Now, I don't know what she's using to shoot that shit. That was a pretty cool little stunt she just did with the shit. I don't know whether maybe I'm falling by. That's a pretty cool little stunt she did. But what she did was she talked about, or she showed how she loves her white side, and she showed cowboys.
Why shouldn't she love who she is? See, that's what they're threatened by. She loved her white side. Maybe they're those are the people who are nicest to her, you know. For me, it's kind of it depends who, it depends if they're black, white, whatever, case by case with me. But some other people, they might tell you, I've ran into mulattoes that they basically blamed all their problems on white people. It kind of didn't work out. They didn't fit in with my space. I had a Facebook group. One guy, I had to get him out of there. And he looked whiter than me. That's the funny part. Looked whiter than me, but he kind of had some kind of. He's an older cat too. I think that's a generational nuance. I think he was like a Xer, and then environment plays a critical role. So maybe he faced a lot of racial hostility from whites towards him when he was growing up in the 80s or whatever, 90s, whatever environment he's at. So, everything for us over here, we're trying to find the balance of everything. Trying to find a balance. But like I said, for me, depending on it's case by case, depending on the people I'm dealing with. But this guy, the guy who's commentating, the black dude, he has an issue with this woman being proud of her European heritage. Why wouldn't she? Maybe they're nice to her. Maybe they're her neighbors. They're good neighbors. They're good people. It's her family. Why wouldn't she be proud of that and admire that? Why? That's who she is. She doesn't even look like one of you people. The guy commentating, she doesn't look like a dark-skinned Bantu. So like, why is she not going to celebrate all of who she is? That's a normal, healthy individual. But they don't want that. They want to push their slave trauma onto you. They want the mulattoes to be tainted and to be proud victims. No.
Cowboys? The first cowboys in this country, black folk.
You see that? The first cowboys in this country were black folk. We invented everything, We were indigenous folks. The first cowboys were the rancheros, the Mexicans. That was the cowboy culture. It was actually the mestizos, the Mexicans in Texas. It wasn't the black folks. You have the Buffalo Soldiers. You guys, a lot of revisionist history with you guys. You guys are claiming to be the first Indians in America, the first people in Europe, the first Asian people. You guys been doing this for too long now. The almanacs, the the original people of the Philippines were actually black. And you guys do this shit so you can like sneak your way in to get with the women. Because I see this more from the men, the males, more than the females, the Afrocentric males. It's only the black females who are more so male identified who are pushing the rhetoric they heard from some dummy Negro. That's it. Like it's mostly the males who are pushing this crap. Well, the original people of the Philippines were actually black, this tribal group. And they do that so they can passport bro status, go over there and try to fornicate with the women and act like they're pro wax and shit. The CDO father, they push all these philosophies and rhetoric to gain influence and control. And what is the end objective? To make the mulatto men, and not only mulattoes, but multiracial men, subordinates under the dark skinned Bantu. That is the objective. Okay.
Not white. So she's really confused as to what white culture is. If you want to show white culture, put on a KKK hood. I get.
You guys hear that? He's like, she's confused about what white culture is. If you want to know what white culture is, he goes to the extreme negative and says, put on a KKK hood. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. When I wanted to get acquainted more with white culture, we could say high society, is I volunteered to be an usher at the Pacific Symphony Orchestra. It was at the Segerstrom Center for the Arts in Costa Mesa, California. I volunteered to be an usher there because I got access to go to all these symphonies, the Pacific Symphony Orchestra, all these classical performances. I got exposed to that culture. I went through a classical phase. I still love classical music. I'm very eclectic. That's my mulatto, culture, kind of brushing off on you guys. I love all different styles of music, but there was a period several years ago where everywhere I was driving around town and just classical music. And then I was like, let me go see this stuff up front in person. So I volunteered, and that to me, that was white culture. It's dominated by European Americans, dominated by whites, and that's their culture. It's high culture of white society. It's a classical music. So when I think of white culture, that's what I think of, especially for that class level, right? Because these are the upper echelon within their society. But with this ghetto Bantu, who openly refers to this lady as a hoe and a bee, just all, only the biracial baby mamas think that's cute, right? Because they're trying to get black acceptance. But for us over here, for us, the civilized people, we're looking at like this guy's not a part of our group. So for him, he's going to go to the extreme, talk about a KKK hood. Really, bro? Really the extreme?
Get tired of these motherfuckers acting like it's such a difficult decision to choose which side to rock with. Look at the motherfucking colonizer. If that isn't a very clear decision, I would imagine, and it may have taken me a while to get to that point, but I would imagine if
you see that, pick a side, which side to choose. You guys see that? Which side to choose? This is they're coming from that angle, this binary lens, and this is why I try to stress mulattoes. You got to seek the mulatto identity, mulatto community, mulatto cohesion. Seek the wholeness and oneness, because when you play this game, this split, half and half and all this stuff, the binary stuff, on both sides, they're going to weaponize the one drop rule against you. Mainly, we see it from the black Afrocentrics. This is their strategy. This is why he's telling you, he's positioning, giving you an ultimatum, basically, or proposition that you need to pick our side. That side, they're racist towards you. They're not your friend. We accept you. Pick our side so we can call you a bee and a hoe and insult you. This is what they do, their strategy. This is why I'm stressing you guys. You got to embrace the mulatto identity. If you want to continue to use this innocuous language and I'm biracial and mixed race, and then what's the first thing they tell you? Well, biracial can mean anything. Well, shit, we all biracial. My great granddaddy, the slave master slept with my great grand, and all this stuff. And it's like they're admixed. They got some admixture. They're an admixed black American. And you use this biracial language. I've had one dude blacker than the fucking Black Panther try to tell me over on Facebook, well, man, we all biracial because all us black folks see. That's what they do to invalidate you. And when you play that, when you say mulatto, see, it strikes fear in them, which is a good thing. Because then they realize, well, you're a different independent racial classification. It's only North America where they've robbed you of that identification. We're bringing it back. It's only in North America. See, and then in Cuba, I saw a lady's comment on TikTok earlier today. I haven't been to Cuba yet. I want to go to Cuba. But in Cuba, they have the mulatto racial category. In Dominican Republic, in Brazil, they have the bardo. These other nations in the Caribbean, in Central America, South America, that's outside of North America, they acknowledge the mulatto category. And we know in South Africa, I have a lot of colored people who are audience members, who are followers over here. They have the colored category. See, it's the United States where they try to play that game, the binary nature game where you got to pick the white or black. We're choosing mulatto over here. It's growing. You can try to shadow ban us all you want. We're still growing.
If I was born to white parent, black parent, at some point, based on the information I received, I'd say, fuck y'all white people. And I wouldn't understand what my black parent, I wouldn't understand what the fuck they was doing. And particularly if my white parent wasn't out here fighting against racism, fighting against themselves.
Fighting against themselves, fighting. See, that this guy is not even logical. I just had to comment on this because, and he made the video 5 years ago, but there's a lot of people who are just as ignorant and dumb as him who still try to push this crap. They try to talk to us like this as if they're kind of smarter than us, or they have it more figured out. That's why he started out by saying, quote unquote, confused, because they're trying to kind of shame you to identifying with them when they're the ones who don't have any leverage or power in society. They have more numbers than you. They have a lot of professionals in positions because the Anglos put them there. Let's be clear. If they're business owners and they got their own black business going, hey, man, I'm all for that. I'll support you. I'm straight up. If you're a decent black person, black American, you got pride and honor, you're a good person, I will support your business. I will support you. So I'm not against that. Like, I want to see more of you guys. I want to see more black businesses. I want to see you guys make money. I am not against you, right? But where you kind of fuck up and kind of step out of bounds is where you try to dabble off into this mulatto stuff and you think you have influence over us and you're going to tell us what we should do and how we should identify. You're out of bounds over here. But that's why I say you got to mind your own black business. But if you got a black business, depending on what product or service you're selling, you're a good person. I don't care what color you are. You're white, Chinese, mestizo, Chicano, Bantu. If you got a service, I'll support. I'll support it. It's an open, free market in the United States. So, just want to lay that out there, right?
Essentially, and particularly then. But she acts as though that white culture is cowboy shit. That ain't you. That ain't y'all. White folk don't have a culture. If we're not talking about genocide, rape, murder, stealing, if we're not talking.
You see all the extremes, guys. Crazy, isn't it? Shout out to Renata Mulatto. Probably, I would say, my favorite person over here. I'm so grateful to have you over here. Shout out to you. She says mulatto networking. That's my goal. That's my goal. This is everything I'm doing right now. Connecting with you guys. This is what it's all about. But yeah, getting back to the commentary with the guy, he's talking about these like extreme like circumstances. He's talking about like genocide and all this other like stuff. It's like just the extremists because they're trying to position you in an ultimatum. They're trying to shame you for your heritage and maneuver you to identify with them so they can use you and bastardize you. See, it only works on the biracial baby mamas. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, and if you're a dumbass mulatto dude who wants to be down with the hood, you got the hood swag, you're going to spend $300 on a fucking Jordan instead of putting that $300 and buying some stocks or investing in index funds. Like, you want to buy some depreciating assets, like some shoes, some tennis shoes. If you're one of these dumbass mulattoes, I'm not even talking to you. You're not even my audience, right? Spend that $300, form an LLC, Do something with it. Invest in yourself, your future. You want to buy some Jordans or because you run into these characters. They act like they're going to be defenders of the black race, and I'm going to report all the anti-black rhetoric these mulattoes saying. I had one dude who's like saying that. He's been kind of quiet lately for obvious reasons, but he was like talking about, I'm going to report all the anti-black rhetoric that I hear from Mulatto Vanguard, and the guy spending $300 on like shoes and shit, trying to act like he's flossing. I'm like, bro, as I'm sitting here talking shit, I got my fucking passport in my hand right now. I'm already booked, man. I got my next journey already, my itinerary set up. I'm straight. But I'm just sitting there. Some of these guys, their priorities are fucked up. Like, you're not even my audience. If you're sitting here spending $300 on Jordans trying to impress Bantus, you're not even my audience. I'm not. You guys should already know this ain't the spot for you, bro. If you got $300, $200, $100, go buy some index funds. Go form an LLC. Invest in yourself. Help out other mulattoes. That's it. That's what we're about over here.
Talking about these things, they don't have a culture. Liquor, maybe getting drunk, I don't know. White boy wasted, maybe that's their culture is alcoholism. But cowboy ain't it. So she's confused even about her own half white side of her. She's confused about that. And then she goes in to do the black side and she puts on a dashiki and a head wrap. That's African culture. That's not African American culture. There is a difference. This bitch is dumb. And it shows that she's dumb. But that could be due to the fact that she may be confused. And I'm sure her parents ain't teach her shit. I'm sure they didn't. Because she running around here, and mixed people like to do this sometimes, want to be victims.
And he said mixed people like this, they like to be victims. He said sometimes they like, and like I said from the beginning, because I heard this lady with the apologies type of stuff, we're not victims over here. We do not position ourselves to be victims. I have to make that abundantly clear. We're analyzing, observing the problem. We see the problem. We see something that needs to be corrected, and we're taking the steps necessary to do that. This is the first step. I'm just doing what I can do. Can I do more? Of course I can. But my goal here is to encourage others to do at least do something. Start a Substack. Put your writing out there. You got the Owl Show who's in the chat. I saw him in the chat. And I would encourage him to do biracial, mulatto, like I say, specific content on Substack, but he doesn't want to. That's his business. He does what he wants. But I think he has his articulation's very good. So he's able to articulate points very effectively. If he can just take some of that, energy and put it towards writing, we need more literary works out here. Renata Mulatto, who's in the chat, who's my favorite person here, she's in the chat and she does, articles. So like mulatto centered articles. And so we need more of that stuff out here. We need more you guys making videos, producing articles. And even with the branding, like shout out to the lady, I forgot her page. It's on TikTok. I just followed her earlier today. And but it's something a mixed race page, mulatto woman, but she has kind of a, kind of people like to turn biracial and mixed because it's more innocuous, right? More inviting. So she has a page out there like that, but she's already doing merchandise. I see that. That's good. I love that. And we need more of that. We need more people doing this. So yeah, my whole position here is we're not victims. We just see a problem. We're addressing the problem. And the guy in his damn video, he puts the mulatto problem, the title of his video. What's the problem? This is just a mulatto chick who's proud to be mulatto. Like, what's the problem? But see, to them, they're threatened by that. Okay. And that's an issue. And that's what we have to address. Why they're threatened by that. And then because they're threatened by that, what are their next steps? Because there's going to be hostility because they feel threatened. So then for them, there's going to be action on their side. What are they going to do? They're going to try to sabotage you. They're going to go to their white massa to try to silence you, shadow ban you, right? So this is why we have to take notice of this, because they're threatened by us just existing. Like I said earlier, I'm going to say it again. I don't want to hear this bullshit about, well, you're talking about us. That's why we're over here. I'm like, bro, this dude's talking about us. That's why we're over there. I saw someone shared this video with me, my email, and you guys, if you guys have any commentary or comments or videos, whatever you want me to cover, shoot me an email. You have it right here, mulattovanguard@gmail.com. Shoot me an email and I'll check it out. And so someone did that. They shared this with me, and that's the thing. Like, they're talking about us, but we're not supposed to respond or provide commentary. Nah, those days are over. Those days are over.
But if you're having a hard time as a mixed person choosing which side is right, then you fucked up you fucked up, because there's.
He said, if you're a mixed person and you have a hard time choosing what's right, then you effed up. What does that mean? That's very subjective. What's right? What is right? Baby mamaism? Because I see a lot of these women, look, if they're married and have a family, that's on them. Just don't be like this. Some of these idiots, they're liars. They come out here on YouTube and pretend like they're married and they got like domestic violence cases out here. And they're like sitting there, I'm a married woman. I'm up at midnight trolling and gossiping about other people. And yeah, you're not married. Okay. But they'll lie. They'll put this social media persona out here like they're quote unquote married to their fucking fourth, fifth partner. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Multiple time baby mama. You got 6 kids by 4 different dudes, but you're married. Okay, I get it. You're married. This is the husband number 4. Fucking loser. I get it. Okay. Well, yeah.
There's no way you side with the colonizers. There's no way you proud of your white side. How could you be?
He said, how could you be? How could you be proud of your white heritage? Maybe because the people are nice to us. Maybe we grew up with people and they're very nice to us. Gee, I don't know. I grew up in an environment, my neighbors, and not all my neighbors. One of my neighbors, yeah, I didn't like them. I didn't like their family. I mean, they weren't nice. I mean, they were kind of closed offish. But see, again, I was too young maybe to understand the kind of racial nuances at that time in the 90s as a kid in Anaheim, California. But like my best friends, my best neighbors, they were white. And I had sleepovers, birthday parties, just all these memories I have with with the white community, people in my community. My mom's white, and people in my community. I'm like, I have these experiences. So how are you going to convince us that like to choose you, and you're not doing anything for us? You just jump on social media talking shit about mulattoes. You're calling us confused, and you're calling this woman a bee and a hoe, and that you want us mulattoes, we see your language, your tone, you want us to like identify with you, and you don't offer us anything. That's why I laugh with these bantus. It's like they don't give you anything, but they're trying to like plead to you, or they're trying to like gaslight you to identify with them, but they offer nothing. What they offer to the biracial baby mama is black acceptance, right? They're like, well, look, if you let me bastardize you, right, what they're saying is, okay, we'll protect you, the black males, right? Like the guy, the narrator here, he's like, well, we'll protect you from the black women, because they know the dark-skinned black woman, she's jealous of the biracial women, right? Because whenever biracial women talk about colorism and all this stuff, and how black women mistreat them, their biggest supporters are going to be these black males, right? All over their social media. Yeah, because you're the preference, and they know they can come up in there with a protection proposal, and they'll defend you. They'll defend you, the biracial woman, more than the dark-skinned black female. That should tell you something. Are these men of honor? Are these men with pride? Well, they'll put another woman above their own, like what they did with Just Pearly Things. This whole pasty white woman who's like not even a 5. She's like below. She's so average and basic. It's like, I thought about that the other day too. Like she had a whole following of black males, the black manosphere kind of grift, who liked Just Pretty Things. And those guys, like, they'll throw black women under the bus for Just Pretty Things. So you're like, how is that a compliment? Like, yeah, just want to throw that out there because it's pretty mind-boggling what I see. So when this guy, like I said, his proposal for this female is like, okay, he'll protect her from black females, but then you're still in a shithole kind of community where it's still black female ran. I just don't see like the benefit. And you want to tell her to throw her white heritage under the bus. And like, what does she get out of it? That's the thing. She doesn't get anything out of it. It's pretty disturbing.
It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand the mindset of even a completely white person that's proud of their would be ancestors, or proud for what? What y'all do? What happened?
Proud for what? Yeah, okay, whatever.
Y'all have done nothing but be savages.
So his racism's coming out. He's talking about white folks, right? He says, y'all done nothing but be savages. Really? That's all they've done? But that's him. And like, see, he's trying to, and he's weaponizing a one drop rule. He's trying to play this game. And they oftentimes these type of kind of like racist blacks, they will basically attack white people via the mulatto, and it's vice versa. And shout out to Mulatto Mermaid, because she eloquently pointed this out as well, where it's like oftentimes you'll see white people, they'll attack mulattoes to try to get to the black person. Both sides do that. And that's why mulattoes find themselves in a very interesting position where both sides are attacking us, but they're using us to attack the other side. And mulattoes get lost in the sauce when they do not embrace fully the mulatto identity. When they're playing that binary game, they got to kind of flip, and it's too draining to do that. To be over here, let me be cool and be the white side. Let me jump over here, the black side, try to be friendly or whatever, cordial with both sides. I tell people, hey, be as diplomatic as possible. Be nice to everybody. Be a civil human being. I'm not telling you guys to make enemies or be mean to this group or that group. Just look at the information, analyze the information. Where the fuck is your tribe? Everyone else, at the end of the day, they have a place they can call home. They have a racial vagabond. They have a tribe. Where the hell is your mulatto tribe? You don't have to like me. That's perfectly fine. But who else out here is going to advocate for you? Go find them. And that's the thing. Like both of these groups, I'm telling you, is like they'll fight each other, but use us as proxies to attack the other group. We have to start to analyze this and effectively be strategic. More on that later, because this is going to be a consistent theme. We have to let them know we're watching them. We see their strategy. They're going to have to change up. But as it currently is right now, the modus operandi, they're getting away with too much, trying to attack one another using us as a proxy. We got to stop all that because we're taking too many shots. We can't have that.
And put money over human life in all situations, in all cases. That's all you've done, and be racist as fuck. This is all you've done. White culture.
He's like, that's all you've done. Be racist as F, right? You're talking about like in, was it Zimbabwe, where they have dark skins who are chopping off the limbs of the light skinned albinos to use them for rituals. And that's not racist. Oh no, it's not racist. They get a pass because they're black. So they don't get, they don't get called racist or labeled that. Oh no. Or like the Haitians, what they did in Dominican Republic, attacking mulattoes in Haiti and Dominican Republic. Oh no, that's not racist. No, they're justified in doing that, you see. But this guy's trying to paint a picture that just, like the history of these people is just racism. That's colonialism. That's a big part of their power complex. And trust me, they're taking fucking fat L's today because of that. They're basically paying the debt. They're reaping what they'd sowed. And they're trying to rationalize it. They think this Trump guy is going to help them out. The MAGA people, they're sadly mistaken. They know there's no turning back. Like the trajectory they see, this irreversible hybridization and this culture war they're initiated in. They know that it's like they have momentum currently right now. It's fizzled out basically. And it's going to fizzle out a lot more. The pendulum is swinging. They know that they're not really going to win. So they're trying to cope with that reality. And their best bet, what they're doing is they're trying to basically shame their own women to dealing with them. Don't go with these black guys. You're going to create more mulattoes, right? And the mulattoes are ugly. And it's some ugly white boy calling you ugly. It's like, okay, right. When we get out here and we compete, then we'll see. And that's it. And they don't want you to even compete. They want to lock you out of competition. That's the thing. And they've done that with blacks a lot, right? Once they started opening up with the sports and shit, then they realized they were getting dominated in the boxing ring and baseball and all these basketball, all the sports. They realized they couldn't even compete. So what makes you think with mulattoes, they're going to have even better chances with you? I doubt it. Not likely. They know that. Because not only you have the physical attributes, but you also have the phenotypical attributes where you're more palatable across the board, where even other cultures that are not Anglo or Bantu, they will identify with you, like the Latino group, right? Let's continue on.
Sure, is a Klan motherfucking robe. Now, has she done that? Now, has she put on a fucking Klan robe right here? Then, you know, maybe. And then
I got to pause and highlight this. Shout out to Renata Mulatto, my favorite person over here. You hit the nail on the head. I just saw you put this comment. I got to talk about this before I move on. And I'll check out all your guys' comments as usual. I'll drop the link as well if you guys want to hop up here. She puts here, black men offer protection to mulattoes. Exactly. And it's almost like it's an unwritten agreement. It's not really spoken about. They don't publicize it. It's not publicly broadcasted, right? You understand that, Renata. I understand that. But you guys see it in society. Even these light-skinned black males in the African American community, they see that. They see how it's like, yeah, there is a protection arrangement given to mulatto women by black men. But as you put here, but only as a trade for sexual access. Exactly. They have to offer up the goods or the box, whatever you want to say, in order for that protection. It's not for free. They have to give their womb up to a dark-skinned male. And in return, dark-skinned male, it's an unwritten agreement they have in the community. And then they'll give them protection. And you put here, this is the icing on the cake that I wanted to highlight. This is critical. This is the most important part. Sadly, those with absent black fathers are the ones who fall for it. Bingo. Do I got a sound bite here? I should have had this kind of queued up. I got a sound bite somewhere. Let me check this out. I got a DJ horn. Yeah. That's the best I can do right now. I'm sorry. But no, I just agreeing, with what you're saying, affirming, like that's the critical point, the icing on the cake. Sadly, those with black absent fathers are the ones who fall for it. And because I talked with you behind the scenes, we talked about this, right? I think a week ago, Renata, where it's like because they're chasing that kind of blackness, there's a void they're filling. There's a lot of mulattoes I've talked to over the past couple years where they've expressed this to me. That's the path they went. And I've witnessed it even with other mulattoes. This is a real thing. This is a real phenomenon where their black fathers weren't that present. Maybe they were in kind of white environments. They were considered the kind of quote unquote black person, even though they're not really black. The blacks don't look at them like themselves. They're mixed, but they're trying to chase this blackness. They want the black acceptance. And their father, their family member was never in a household to affirm them of that. So once they become of age as an adult, they seek a black partner to fill that void. And it's mulatto women who have absent black fathers who fall for that. And they feel like the only way they can get acceptance in blackness is by getting with a black man. And black men, they overwhelmingly know this because they do that with their own group, their own people. In their own group, you look at the illegitimacy rate, it's very larger than any other group. You can blame racism all you want. Numbers, math is not racist. You look at it. If they do that with their own group, what makes you think they won't do that with these other groups? And you look at mulattoes. They see the mulattoes, a lot of them are vulnerable, or they're looking for acceptance, looking for a place to belong. And they'll do like, their kind of interview, kind of interrogation, and they find out this mulatto who didn't really know her black father, they realize that's a perfect candidate to bastardize. It's very sad, but I laugh about it now because you guys, moving forward, if you guys haven't figured this out yet, You guys are kind of behind the curve, or you're just kind of old timers. You're not paying attention to the trend. Like, we see the game deploy for what it is now. And we have the microphone and we're using it. All right, let me continue on.
And for a black person just look normal, motherfucker. An African American, a black person that's been in America for generations, a descendant of slaves here on American soil, regular. They just look regular. We just look regular. That's it. It's not all dashiki, you ignorant bitch. That's not what's going on.
You guys, like I said again, he called her the B word. He called her ignorant B. Like, and just the anger I'm pointing out, guys, the anger and animosity and venom in his voice, all because this woman identifies as mixed and not black. He has this hostility towards her. He looks at it as like it's treasonous. Like, why are you going to choose those white folks? Their culture is racism. They oppress my people. My people are victims, even though we work for white folks and we're privileged and we kiss their butt. Like, he's trying to attack this mulatto, right? And like to attack white people, using this mulatto to attack white people. Yeah, I guarantee you that this Bantu, he works for white people. He's on their internet, on their app, YouTube, trying to get money from them. You guys see the game, and like all he can offer all he can offer is basically protection from black females. That's it. That's all he can offer. But he won't even be around long enough to even offer that. He's going to leave her a baby mama, and then she's going to jump out here running amok, running, ruthless. And that's the people you run into here that are kind of the most problematic. Come to find out, they got a black baby daddy. They're talking shit about mulatto men. And it's just, it's crazy.
On here. And we have to stop letting mixed people walk this motherfucking tightrope little line shit they like to do and act like somehow they're being, ostracized by black people. Like, no, that's white folk treating you like that.
I agree with you. So a lot of mixed people who grew up in a black hood community are screwed from the beginning. Yeah. Because the culture is about struggling. It's like a victim Olympics. I'm not saying all. I'm not an absolutist, but I'm saying overwhelmingly that's the culture that's promoted. And yeah, if you're mulatto and you grew up in that environment, shit, they're trying to compete with them. You're not going to out-black them. They're going to gatekeep that. And then you see how some of these guys, they find my channel and like they have like it shatters their psyche because they realize, well, shit, what this guy's saying is true. Even though I don't like this guy, they're like, what you're saying is true. They can't argue with it, but they're having a hard time dealing with the reality that they kind of fall in line with that. They've been played by the community. I didn't play you guys, man. I don't know you guys like that. I didn't play you, but there's a lot of people, they project their trauma onto me. Like, and this guy put here, black people who talk of this are projecting. Yeah. And you got a lot of mulattoes who were traumatized by black people. They project that shit on me. Like, I got something to do with this. Like, I don't know, man. That ain't me. That ain't me, man. I'm not offering you like this guy out here is talking about, why would you choose white folks? They racist. Okay. But what do you have to say about black people who are racist? Oh man, they just, that's just that. Like Dr. Umar was saying some dumb crap like that. He's like, oh, that's just their problem. If you a mixed race African and these Africans don't accept you, don't worry about it. I'm like, no, nigga, you got to check those savages, homie, or someone else is going to. For me, it's very simple. I'm just going to do my own shit. I'm not even going to deal with you people. Right? That's it. It's like, you got guys like Dr. Umar who's telling you, oh, just ignore it. Don't worry about those Africans. You still a mixed race African. Even though those Africans don't accept you and claim you, don't worry about it. Nah, fuck out of here. No accountability with you guys. I'm good. I'm doing my own shit now. It's working out good for me.
White folk the ones gonna call you a nigger. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. There's white folks who are gonna call us a nigger. Yeah, for sure. And white folks will call us a mutt. But guess what? The black folks are gonna call us a mutt. So what do you have to say about that? They got nothing to say about that because guess what? They're all in on it. They work with them white folks against mulattoes. They don't want to admit it. They don't want to talk about it. But we're talking about it over here and we see the game. We see the game. We've been seeing it for a minute. We're talking about it publicly now. And we're going to keep talking about it. You're not going to stop this.
That ain't us. And you motherfuckers gonna stop acting like it's us. If you choose to sit around and relate to your white side, then fuck you. That's how we gonna treat you.
See the ultimatum, the black extremists. If you sit around and relate to your white side, we gonna be like F you. That's how we gonna treat you. See that? They want you to basically be bastardized and identityless. Just identify with Bantus so they can use you. And the whole trick is, the whole game is you identify with them so they can wield influence over you. So they can maneuver you and in-group you and out-group you in and out of blackness whenever they see fit. Weaponize the one-drop rule, where you're a subordinate to them. That is a despicable existence that I cannot endorse and I do not suggest. I just would never wish that on my worst enemy. It is completely despicable. They have nothing to offer you. But he's literally sitting there telling you, don't identify with your white side. Really, the folks who are going to help me, teach me how to hunt, teach me how to fish, give me job opportunities, business opportunities, teach me skill sets I can use for the rest of my life. I have a good friend of mine. He's been a friend for years. Dude likes to hunt and fish, and the guy like is a jiu-jitsu training partner. The guy helped me out, trained me some jiu-jitsu, some boxing. It's a white guy from Virginia. So what? I'm supposed to just throw him under the bus because some random black idiot online, you know? And this is what you run into. A lot of mulattoes are looking for answers, and they'll get caught up in that, or they'll throw under the bus people who are beneficial to them to appease these like racist blacks, which is, it's really despicable. And I'm speaking from that from experience because I was in that position where I was kind of moving in that direction. And I'm ashamed to admit it, but it's just a reality of a lot of us have been there. A lot of us have been there, like with this pro-black crap, where we're like, okay, we got to prove the blacks were loyal or prove the blacks were down. And you throw under the bus people who actually helped you out, who taught you skill sets, life skills and stuff. And it's very shameful. You look at a guy, I guess the prime example would be like a Colin Kaepernick type of guy. His white adopted parents helped him. They brought him, they showed up at all his high school football games. They cheered him on in the bleachers, all his football games. And then what does he do? He throws like white America under the bus, right? Colin Kaepernick, right? And he even called his own parents like kind of racist or something like that. And I'm like, man, they helped you all the way to the Super Bowl. They're your fucking parents, adopted, whatever. Like you slept in their house. They bought your clothes, they made your bed, they provided you food. How ungrateful can you be to throw those people under the bus who helped you out? A lot of mulattoes fall into that. My goal is for you guys, don't do that. Be appreciative of people who are respectful and who are uplifting towards you. And don't play this game because you have these predator Bantu pro-whacks who are going to try to use that sense of you, the belonging that all humans have. All humans want to belong to a tribe. The Bantu, the racist Bantu, I'm saying, they will weaponize that need that you have and use it against you. And it's our job over here to report that, to analyze it, and give you guys an effective strategy, basically to just push them to the side. You hear this rhetoric, and they're sitting there trying to tell you, well, the whites are just racist, or don't acknowledge that side, or don't identify with them. And I'm like, well, they're just, they're not as bad as you claim they are, and they're basically just the same as you. They're just people. There's good and bad of every group. Like they're just as racist as you guys are, and that's what it's funny. We're seeing this right now. Like the Bantu wants to sit here and act like they're so welcoming and accepting and they're not racist. And, okay. Only the uninitiated will fall for the trickery of the Bantu. Let's be clear.
If you act like you better than black people, then fuck you. That's how we're going to treat you.
We're going to treat you like you guys are unified. You guys are all tribalistic, eating each other alive. Like, that's the funny part. Like, they try to, like, flex up on you. Like, That's the only time you guys unify, is if, oh, they're anti-black. Let's work together and G-check them, right? Other than that, like look at this FBA shit. They're gonna turn on each other and eat each other alive. Like they're not, they're the most disorganized tribalistic people on the planet. That's why I always get a kick out of it. The only time they will unify is if it's like under some anti-black or racism type of stuff. Then they unify. As soon as it fizzles out, they're gonna turn right back around and start eating each other. So, but I wanted to mention as well, as a guy said something about, oh, you think you're better than us? Well, then F you. But see, you notice a dark skinned Bantu acts like they're better than you, especially like in reference to how they talk about lighter skinned males, like a Drake. They'll call Drake a white boy, or, he's a colonizer, right? They think they're better than him because they're blacks, they're dark skinned Bantus. They think they're better than this mixed race, light skinned mulatto man, Drake. But you don't see us crying about it. Yeah, that's healthy. You should think you're better than me. That's all good, homie. But when it comes out here to performance, okay, we're going to test each other on performance. So when I jump up here and I say I'm better than you, I don't want to hear your ass whine and cry, but you will. Oh, you think you're better than us? Yeah, you're damn right. I think I'm better than you, savage. So what? You're going to go cry to the white man about that? You see, they only want it one sided. They want to publicly make songs not like us, and they want to act like they're from the hood and they're better than you. But when you match that energy, like, bitch, I'm better than you. You ain't shit. You're a fucking savage. Then they cry. They don't like that. And my whole thing is in Mulatto is, how do you accept that? You don't have to like my tone, my delivery. Oh, you need to have more polish. No, you need to start a YouTube channel. You need to create live streams. You need to create videos and make it in the format that you think is acceptable. Don't come over here and tell me how I should do my shit. No, that's the only thing I'm saying right now. Because I have some people who, if they critique, it's like, bro, I don't see anybody else out here challenging or making this type of reaction or commentary on this. Like, I don't see it. I see too many of these mulattoes kowtowing to people who are against them, and they want to maneuver them into a position of subordinates. Like the woman you see on the screen, I do not know this woman. Never heard of her until this guy, someone shared this video on the email. But I'm like, she identifies as mixed race. Like, so she doesn't use the term mulatto. She's probably one of these liberals. She's like, oh, that's a bad word, because she's been trained by Afrocentrics to hate herself. Okay. That's all it is. When you have a mulatto who doesn't like the word mulatto, they've been trained to hate themselves. It's sad. But for me, with my social media, is to destigmatize, to reprogram the mental circuitry. And people have convinced them to be against themselves, to be virtuous and altruistic, to not even have an identity. They literally fulfilling the position of a mule to serve others in their comfort, to relinquish mulatto autonomy to fulfill Bantu sensibilities. They've been maneuvered to think that's an acceptable existence. I'm completely against that. As if you hadn't already noticed that.
That's what you're going to get. That's your choice. You made that choice. And I would say that about a motherfucker that's 100% black. Because a lot of these 100% black people, just as dumb, look down on their own people, It's fuck them too. It's fuck all you motherfuckers, really. That's where we are. That's how shit gonna be around here.
That's how it's gonna be around here. Now, he sounds ghetto as hell, right? But even that negativity, F you and F you all and F you, blah, blah, blah. Instead of building networks, building connections, for me, I'm just very assertive and firm. Like, there's a line here. Don't cross it. You cross it, okay, we're just going to kick you. We're going to block you, get you up out of here. But this guy is like, he doesn't sound like a very warm, welcoming character, does he? And of course not, because he's referring to his woman as a bee and a hoe and all this. Like, why is that necessary? Just for her existing, being proud to be mulatto, she's welcome over here. Like, she identifies as one of us. Like, this is the whole position here. But see, they're fearful of that. They know they're losing influence.
Well, at least around here, on my channel anyway. We have to stop allowing these mulatto mixed people to.
And he just said mulatto mixed people. Notice that. Because remember, this type of lying Afrocentric Bantu will tell you, well, mulatto is not a race. There's no such thing as mulatto. Most Black Americans have some European blood, so we're all mixed. Remember, that's what the Bantu gaslighting, that's what they'll tell you. But the guy just told you, he delineated and said this mulatto. He lets you know you're not the same as them. You quote unquote not like them. I've been knew this. You're preaching to the choir. I've been saying this from day one since I hopped my ass up here on YouTube. It's you other motherfuckers who barely find my shit who haven't figured it out yet. That's it. Or the detractors. Like, they have been telling you this. This guy put this video commentary 5 years ago. They've been telling you you're not the same as them. You guys haven't took that into account. You guys are still trying to convince them that you're part of the same group. You're just a light skin Black. Okay, cool. Have fun. Yeah. Let them punk you, talk shit about your light skin. Have fun. Just don't drag me into that shit. That's what I'm telling you. It's not going to work. But he just made the delineation saying mulatto. He identifies her as mulatto. And the funny thing is, because she's, LGBT, she could probably not even like the term mulatto because she knows it's going to offend Black people. And there's a lot of Black LGBT, so she's going to want to use a term that makes everybody happy and everyone's okay. So she's going to say she's mixed race, right? That's the innocuous term that doesn't mean anything because it's just a bunch of everybody. Doesn't mean anything, right? So, but he's letting you know how he sees you. Even like I said, look at the title here, The Mulatto Problem. Literally the title of his video. So he sees you as a mulatto. So I just wish that she would see herself as a mulatto. And if she sees herself as a mulatto, the spot over here, this is for you. This channel, this spot, this is for you over here. Let's work it out. Our numbers are growing. Okay, she's probably around my age, whatever. Let's invest into the future. Let's make sure the younger people, they don't waste their time trying to adhere to Bantu sensibilities. We have to look out for the future. That's it.
To act like they get to be better than Black people when they know damn well white people treat them like niggas.
It's not exactly true. Because if that was true, you people wouldn't cry colorism. You people wouldn't complain about mulattoes if the whites treated us just like you. See, that's where it all stems from. So they're trying to position it as if, well, the white folks treat you just like you a nigga, but you think you better than us. Well, yeah, a lot of us were better than you. Just like you think you're better than us. Look what you people try to do with Drake. All you people falsely labeling that man as a PDF, right? You people all thought you're better than him because he has a white mom in Canada, and you dumb savages are raised in some shithole fucking hood. And you're dark skinned. You thought you're better than that man. You're all cocky about it all over social media. So when you see a mulatto who jumps up here is like, nah, I'm better than you. Okay. And then you want to whine and cry. Oh, they think they're better than me. I don't see Drake crying about it. He knows a lot of you chirping savages, but he's got more money than you. He's got a private jet. So he's good. And you're still going to listen to his music. Even a guy like me, I could talk my shit up here, but you fucking animals are still going to listen to me. So I'm not tripping. It's all good. But just this whole idea of being better, you think you're better, you can think whatever you want, but it has to do with performance. That's all.
They know this. They know this. There is no white culture to be proud of. There is no white side to be proud of. There is no such thing. Now, my respect.
Yeah. BS on his part. Yeah.
Goes out to the mixed people who get to that point where they understand that. Like, oh, ain't shit going on.
Yeah, his respect is to mixed people like who? J. Cole, let me guess. who the people who want to adhere to Black sensibilities. Yeah, those are the ones you respect. Oh, of course. Because they identify with you, then you can kind of pull rank on them and pull that black card. Well, I'm blacker than you. So, you know, they try to pull rank on your ass. You mulattoes haven't figured that shit out yet. They try to pull rank on you. I'm blacker than you. Well, you don't really know what it's like to be black like me, you know. Yeah, so he respects you guys, the guys he can punk and conquer and humble. Yeah, he respects you. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you got some status in Blackistan. Okay. Yeah. Let's see how far that takes you. Yeah.
These white folk over here, they racist as hell. They ain't worth a fuck. They've done nothing but destroy everywhere they've been, and they ride with their black side. Even may entertain being activists and speaking up and things like that. I can respect that, because you have to look at your mama or daddy, whichever side, whichever you know, whether you got black mom or black dad in these situations, you gotta look at your motherfucking white mom or white dad and be like, y'all ain't shit. And you know,
He's pushed as a black nationalist. He's pushing the same rhetoric as Dr. Umar, right? He's typical black nationalist Bantus. You gotta look at your white side and tell them they ain't ish, even though they're supporting you in whatever way they are, their love source. Like the people who are helping you out, supporting you, your number one cheerleaders, this random Bantu is telling you mulattoes, you got to just throw them on the bus if you want acceptance from him. And what does he offer you in return? Nothing. You just want to look cool at the cookout temporarily. But once a white person comes around, you better believe that fucking Bantu will throw your mulatto ass under the bus to appease their white massa. And a lot of you mulattoes are getting that. You understand that. You see it for what it is. They'll talk that pro-whack shit. But once a white person gives them a job opportunity or whatever, some kind of affirmations, they will throw every mulatto under the bus to get white acceptance. See, that is their projection on them. It's all projection. They want you to relinquish your privilege. They want you to relinquish your advantages to help them out. But will they do that for you? But then you want to call them, you're a part of their group, the family, or whatever. That's the main delineation we have to establish. You want to call them your people, my people, but then it's like they look at you as being privileged and perceived as privileges. They're not going to extend the same type of, treatment or advantages, right, to you. They're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt, is what I want to say. They're not. No, they're going to look at you as already privileged. It's not reciprocal. The relationship is not reciprocal. You don't get anything out of it identifying with them. This is why the guy you hear in the narrator, he's like very upset with this female for not identifying with him, because he knows he has nothing to offer. You're just shaming. Like, you don't give us anything. We have a whole world of opportunity out here. My plea here is I'm telling mulattoes, identify as mulatto. This is now. Like, our opportunity is now. Seize the moment. Right? In the biracial baby mama, they'll say, well, he's just white identified. He wants you to identify as white, right? That's what the biracial baby mama, because remember, they're trying to get black acceptance. That's their pathway to blackness. Be a baby mama to a black male, right? My whole thing here is for mulatto autonomy, mulatto sovereignty. You guys already know exactly what time it is. Let me continue on with this.
you're not gonna convince me that y'all shit. Now I might love you as my parents, but y'all ain't shit, and y'all ain't been shit. And why the fuck are you not out here on the front line saying y'all ain't shit? What happened to you? You said there are a few mixed people who can do this.
He said there's a few. Yeah, the few, the biracial baby mamas, the punks, the marks. He said there's a few, but most of you ain't. Most of you ain't. You proud of your European heritage. I don't trust you. I don't want trust from savages. I'm good. You need to stay your ass over there where you belong. You come up and creep over in my shit, and then I gotta block your ass. If you're uppity, if you're cool or whatever, you're just tuning in or whatever, you put your comments. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I'm gonna drop the link in a minute so you can hop your ass up here and tell me. But like, if you get all uppity with me, I just block you savages. I don't even deal with you. on the internet and off the internet. I don't even deal with you people when you get uppity with me. I set boundaries very quickly on with people. And I encourage mulattoes to do the same, because this idea where they're trying to weaponize the one drop rule, it is beyond highly offensive. It is literally like a terrorist position. It's treason. It's like it's terrorism. They're giving it's psychological and racial terrorism that these Bantus are trying to do to manipulate these mulattoes into being like on their team. And you guys have to look at it like that. This is like an enemy combatant who's trying to maneuver you to do their bidding for you. They want you to they want your proximity to whiteness and use you to help them out. And you don't get shit in return. You just become a fucking baby mama. It's pathetic.
But most of the motherfuckers are fucking self-haters. They end up hating half of themselves. Typically, they end up hating the black half, and it's like, okay, what?
See, according to them, that's how they interpret it. By you acknowledging who you are as a mulatto, identifying as that, to them, that equates to quote unquote hating your black half. See, it doesn't work with a guy like me, and they see pictures of me in Africa with African children, African people in Ghana, and then they see these images. It's like the correlation, it doesn't fit with them. They got to use some other strategy. They got to use some other kind of shaming tactic. Then they'll say, well, you're an incel or something, or, or you're jealous because this guy is getting pussy. And like they got to make up shit to demonize me, but they can never counter argue my core talking points. They can't do that. They have to make something else up, because there is no hating my African heritage over here. Because I don't agree with the political stance and philosophies of you Afrocentric savages and you anti-mulatto savages. Like that doesn't equate us not acknowledging our African heritage or being proud of that. No, we just know you're the problem. You've been coddled in society. The Anglos have coddled you, ungrateful Bantus. You think you can weaponize the one drop rule against mulattoes. We're not having it. We're not having it. Like only the biracial baby mamas find that acceptable. But the self-respecting biracials, the self-respecting mulattoes, we're not having that over here. No, we're going to challenge your ass in your rhetoric. That's it.
But the same reason that black people end up hating other black people. It's like, okay, you got laughed at for a little while, you got picked on, you got made fun of, so you're gonna hate your people? This is what you're gonna do? And these mixed people will choose to hate the half of them that's never enslaved anybody, never committed any acts of genocide or anything like that. They choose.
Well, you see, he's a lying piece of shit, because there has been genocide with African nations. The Africans in Zimbabwe are trying to genocide the albino people. So you gotta catch these savages when they put these lies out there. You got people who are trying to, genocide these light-skinned albino people for like witchcraft. Even in Rwanda, you had a genocide. You've had genocides in Nigeria with the Boko Haram, these like Islamic extremists. You've had genocides with African dark-skinned people genociding other groups. So don't let these savages sit there and lie like, well, we're not racist. We never genocided people. We never enslaved people. Yes, you have. They have a history. See, they try to gloss over that and act all virtuous as if they're all innocent and shit. Look what they did in Haiti. Look what the dark skinned Bantu did in Haiti with mulattoes. They try to genocide whites in Haiti, the whites on the whole island. They try to genocide mulattoes and whites on that island. In Quisqueya, Dominican Republic, and Haiti, that island. Don't let these savage Bantus lie to you and act like their hands are clean. They got blood on their hands. They tried to genocide these mulattoes and whites in these other parts of the world. As I just mentioned, in the Zimbabwe region, they try to do that with these albinos. Currently, today, you have orphanages of albinos who were victims of these savages and the crimes they commit towards them just because they're light skinned. And then you got the light skinned saviors who don't mention that, who gloss over that and ignore that. because they baby daddy is a dark-skinned brother, right? And so this is the issue, is you have to challenge them when they spread these lies in their propaganda. They're getting checked. The mulatto men are going to check their ass. Okay, let's continue on. I'm going to finish the clip off. I'm going to drop the link too.
The worst half to be drawn to or be attracted to, which is one of the things that I question about black people, full-blown black people. It's even worse for you motherfuckers. Why y'all trying to impress or be accepted by people that's been so savage? I don't get it. But Jenny Reuter, bitch, you trash.
You see that again. He called her the B word, called her trash. Jenny Reuter. So in the title of his stream, he says mulatto problem. Because she identifies as mixed, he hates her. It's very sad. And it's just straight up black racism. Because she doesn't identify with him. She never said anything as anti-black. Like I said, hey, point the finger at me. Make a video about me. Tell me how I'm so bad. Promote me. I mean, I guess the Jenny lady, she already has a large following and she got fired from her job. See if I give a fuck. You savages are going to make me rich. So talk about me. But see, they don't do that with the men. You notice that, right? Unless they can really kind of make some bread with their reaction videos like they did with Drake. The Drake's status is so large, they can kind of build a following and a network and off of Drake. But a guy like me, no. They're just going to sit there quietly talking shit in the comments or on these little fruity ass forums like Lipstick Alley, bunch of gay black boys and black females and shit, Lipstick Alley or whatever, on Reddit, some other weird stuff. And so like, yeah, they're going to just talk shit in these little, kind of controlled spaces. But yeah, talking about this lady here, it's meaningless. It's meaningless. Yeah, you give me the smoke. You talk about the mulatto problem. You got a brash, arrogant dude like me. And what are you going to do? You're going to talk about some personal shit that's not even relevant to mulatto affairs or even ad hominems about how I look. And yet you hoes are never cammed up. Talk about the male hoes, the dudes, never on camera, right? Talking shit behind an avatar, talking about how I look. It's just, so yeah, it's very convenient for them to try to pressure the females to identify with them, right? Because they want more baby mamas they can bastardize to help grow the numbers of their group, right? And the goal is to absorb mulattoes, to bastardize mulattoes, to absorb mulattoes. That's the goal.
You are trash. And you're an ignorant piece of trash, too. Mixed or not, you're ignorant as fuck. Do some research on motherfucking cowboys.
Do some research on the motherfucking cowboys. They were black kangs. They were cowboy kangs. Do some research on that. I ain't gonna provide you with no research because I'm a kang. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you got to do the burden of proof is on you. You got to do the research, right? Not the kang calling you a bee and a hoe, right? Such a gentleman. Oh, such a gentleman. He'll be a perfect baby daddy to the goofy loser biracial baby mama trying to prove she's black. Oh, he'll be a perfect candidate for her, of course.
African Americans are not dashiki head wrap. That's not maybe the head wrap, but a plain shirt. They wear plain clothes. Stop fucking playing with us and being disrespectful as fuck with your dumb ass.
And he's like, with your dumb ass, you being disrespectful. Nobody's more disrespectful than you fucking dirty savages. You've been calling this woman a bee multiple times, calling her a hoe, calling her ignorant, calling her dumb. You've done nothing but throw ad hominem attacks and slurs at this lady. And then you want to turn the audacity of this savage Bantu to turn around and call her disrespectful just because she doesn't identify with you creatures. Why would she? What does she get from it? She gets to be a baby mama. Congratulations. Good for you. Now the rest of society's got to fit the bill. That's literally all he has to offer her. It's baby mamaism. I'm sitting there like, this guy has been nothing but disrespectful to this lady, calling her out her name, multiple times. But as he finishes his commentary, he wants to turn around and say that she's disrespectful. Because I told you at the beginning of the stream, to them, it's treason to not identify with them. That's how they look at it. There's no like kind of in between or middle ground, literally, pun intended, when you deal with them. The Afrocentric black supremacist extremists. There's no middle ground. Like to them, it's like you either identify with them. If you don't, they look at you as an enemy. So he speaks just like a Dr. Umar guy. That's how they look at you.
Yes. But y'all comment if y'all feel the need to comment. Y'all comment if y'all feel the need to comment. If you feel like I'm off base, if you have an issue with what I'm saying, if you are mixed yourself and you have an issue with what I'm saying, you can respectfully disagree.
Yeah, and I'm respectfully disagreeing. Yeah, I'm mixed myself and I have an issue with what you're saying. And I expressed that in the stream. Maybe it was 5 years late. Someone shared this with me, but hey, I'm talking now. So shit.
In the comment section, if y'all know mixed people, I know some people know mixed people or in relationship with mixed people. And, you know, I just want to know what the fuck, if you got a mixed person that's thinking like this, that believes this type of shit. And if they are leaning or still loving their white side, how? How the fuck could you possibly do that? Knowing what the fuck they've done and knowing what they continue to do and allow to be done. How? That's all the fuck I want to say. Like, share, subscribe. Y'all hit the notification bell. Links to follow me on social media in the description box. Shout out to Team Robbie. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. So, y'all, I know I said I was done. I did. I said I was done with this shit. But I just found this video of her and her mom. And it explains even more. This is why the fuck she act like she does. Her mama white. Her mama white is.
Now, let me make this abundantly clear for you guys. Now, if her daddy was white and she was standing next to her daddy, do you think the racist black would have the same sentiments? Everything she's saying, like just everything she's saying, keep it that way. Just change the parentage configuration. Okay. And if you saw her, this mulatto, standing next to her white father, this individual, the same racist black would be saying the same thing. I do not want you mulattoes to fall for the trick bag that Blackistan tries to deploy on us to separate us. They talk about the white mom biracial and black mom biracial. Don't fall for their rhetoric, their trick bag. They're doing that to separate us. Because I'm letting you know that if it was the other way around, if you saw this female and she was standing next to her white father, this guy would be saying the same exact thing. They do not care. And no, they can't tell. They try to act like, well, I can tell if that biracial got a white mom. I know most biracials in America have white moms, and in Europe, in Canada as well. So it's just cut the crap. Most of us have. So, but they can't tell. The savages, they can't tell. They don't know what they're talking about. They're using this as a ploy to dissuade us from forming unions with each other. The rhetoric would be virtually identical. The guy, it would be the same sentiments. The fact that you're mulatto is why they don't like you. That's why the title of his video was the mulatto problem. He didn't say the white mom biracial problem. He said mulatto. The fact that you don't identify with them is why they're adamantly against you. If they can't use you, they look at you as an enemy. And where he's trying to slander that woman, you know, calling her bees and hoes and all this stuff. So don't fall for it. They do this, you know, they try to do this. See, we're already smart enough over here. We get it. But they keep trying it, you know, with the uninitiated eye. They'll sit there and be like, oh yeah, you know, you're right, she's different, she got a white mom. Like she's apologetic, probably because she lost her job. She did an apology video. That should be her wake-up call. Start her own business, cater to a market that's going to be more accepting of her. You know, if you're catering to these people and they're like racist against you and shit, it's a wake-up call. But yeah, don't fault these people. They see they're playing the whole like trying to teach my mom how to do a viral TikTok. And it's like, oh well, she got a white mom. I already knew. Right, right. Don't let this Bantu try to trick you.
Hell, look at this shit. This is her and her white ass mom. This is why she did that little dumbass little dance move at the end. I was wondering, like, is this like where she grow up at? Watch this.
And they're listening to another mulatto that's got a white mom, Doja Cat. So they hate that. She's like, where'd she grow up at? Yeah, she didn't grow up in the hood with you savages. Thank God. She's got good health, good mental health, living a good life. Because I see some of these people, man, some of these mulattoes who grew up with you Bantus, and it's like, it doesn't look good. It does not look good. I kind of feel sorry for them. My whole thing is that with them, I don't know why they hate on me. It's like this jealousy shit. One guy, I convinced him to go back to school to get a college degree. I convinced him to go get a passport to travel. But like he hates on me. It's like this jealousy shit. It's like, bro, I'm not your enemy. I don't know why you're hating on me, man. Like go travel, go to the DR, go to Brazil. I did that in 1 year last year, and I'm gonna go again. It's like I'm not your enemy, bro. But it's like it's this jealousy shit. And I look at some of these guys, and it's like they grew up in a black community, grew up in the hood, and it's like they're traumatized by these people. They traumatize them, and then the same people who traumatize them, they try to convince them that they're so much different and special because they don't have a white mom. And I'm sitting there like, they lied to your ass because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, right. This is her mom. Some black man. We don't know where he is.
Yeah, whatever. Just this is the channel here. I'm gonna share it right here. So he's a black racist. He's got the black power fist, black, militant black females here, practical black consciousness, decolonize your mind. So we already know he's anti-mulatto, period. Team Rob, right? Bald-headed Bantu, dark-skinned Bantu, anti-mulatto. Now he loves the mulatto women if he can bastardize them and make them baby mamas. But when they identify as mulatto and they're self-respecting, look at the type of language he uses towards them, calling them bees and calling them out their name. What's up, Al?
Hey, how are you? Long time no see.
Hey, I'm pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, good. That's good. So I guess it's kind of looking at different topics tonight, huh?
I just wanted to kind of cover that. I had some other stuff that I'll probably cover another day. I think we're doing pretty good right now. I got a lot of people tuning in for my standards, and yeah, so I think it was a good topic that I covered. That video, someone sent that to me in email, and I was like, oh, might as well just cover it right now. Why not?
Yeah, it's a pretty good chat. So I was in the chat. I was like, it's a pretty good chat. So I would, like I had said in the chat, where people grow up and where they come from, what the environment they come from, has a great impact on, how they deal with being biracial or mixed race or what have you. And that's like that's a big deal. So I guess when it comes to like mulatto or biracial or mixed race in general, I think again it's really kind of tough because there seems to be a degree of work involved. And I hate to use that word, but it's true. It's a degree of work involved, right? Because it involves learning something about biracial people to an extent. It involves kind of dealing with kind of notions or aspects that maybe you as a mixed race person haven't been familiar with or weren't aware of or didn't consider. And it also kind of deals with there's an expression, I think, that is used in countries that used to be colonized, right? Called decolonizing. So decolonizing your mind. What I would say that biracial people in this country end up doing is, some of them, when they decide that they're going to, like, you know, identify as a mixed race person, what they essentially have to do is do a sort of decolonization of their mind, even though it's the colonization again. Colonization, in a sense, has been trying to fit in as a monoracial person.
They have to ask
But,
the tough questions. What do they get? Like, that's the thing I ask. Like, what do you get by identifying? And look at the comment on the screen from Black Skin Guy. He puts, when you ask them to present tangibles, they immediately shut up and leave. Because you have to ask yourself, well, what do you get? Like I referenced earlier with the guy, they're very fixated on mulatto women, biracial women not identifying as Black because they feel like they're losing like sexual access. And even Renata Mulatto, if I can highlight her comment, I forgot exactly where it's at, but she hit the nail on the head where it's like all they offer is like protection, but in exchange for sexual access. And but for that's all they offer. And the results, they don't really look that good. I'm like looking at like their community, it's not doing better because of it, right? And so and people don't want to like reference that or mention that. They want to kind of gloss over and hide the reality that it doesn't seem like it's a fair mutual exchange. It looks like it's more of a burden on society and for the rest of us as well. But the thing is, yeah, like what Black Skin Guy is saying here, like when you ask them for tangibles, are they going to hire us for jobs? Are they going to pay us and support our businesses? No, they're not going to do anything of that. No, then they just immediately shut up and they leave because they know they have nothing to give us. But they want us to like join them and give our capital and resources to them. But there's no exchange there. It's kind of laughable. What's your thoughts on this comment?
well, here's the reality of what's happened with biracial and mixed race people, mulatto, obviously, mixed biracial and mixed race and multiracial people, mostly through the 20th century and maybe a little into the 21st, but mostly in the 20th century. And what happened is, and I don't think this is talked about as much, but what's happened is when you look at things like the Blue Vein Society, what mixed race people ended up doing is networking and dealing with each other. Like there was somebody had a video or something about, she couldn't understand that guy who was the NBA player, Steph Curry or something.
Yeah, even the
She
Brown Fellowship Society. Yep, go ahead.
Right. She couldn't understand why they were all, what's the term, light skin or whatever. I don't like that term, but light skin. She thought it was weird that you have several generations of, obviously, I would just call it mixed race. I'll just say MGM
Yeah, because they
or
want to
mixed race.
absorb you. They look at you, they're threatened. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to add, like, they're threatened by you being your own group, like Mulatto. That's why the guy in the video was so threatened by that female, calling her slurs out her name, because they want to absorb you. They literally feel like you're their property, you're a subgroup. They feel like they should always have access to you. And when they see like a Steph Curry situation where both of his parents are mixed, and they see generations down the line where mixed people commingle with each other, they hate that. They're threatened by that. And that's where the light skin kind of shaming tactics come in, where they want to talk crap about you being light skinned and stuff, because they're slandering the fact that you have, you often have these mulatto multi-generational mulattoes who've bred with each other for generations, and they're afraid that mulattoes, there's going to be enough significant number of us who are going to form our own communities distinguishably different than them. That's what they're really afraid of more than anything, because they love the arrangement they have. Like, they love white people as much as they talk shit on the internet, like that one pro-Black guy I just covered. Like, they can talk all this crap about white people, but trust me, the mulattoes over here, we're smart enough. We know they love and worship white people. They're looking for their validation. They'll just project that onto us to gaslight us, to do their bidding for them. But go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say was that the guy in the video, I'll just say the guy in the video, he just doesn't like mixed race people. It's evident. He has just a disdain. He doesn't like them.
He's
And
pro-black.
so
I
his
mean,
behaviors, right,
pro-blacks are anti-mixed race. So whenever you deal with someone who's
right.
Afrocentric or it's like a pro-white. Pro-whites, they look at mixed people as being like their biggest like enemy. They think we're a destruction of their race. It's the pro-blacks, they mirror the pro-whites. That's what people have to understand. It's virtually the same rhetoric. It's just with a black brush. The rhetoric is the same. Like, so if they're Afrocentric or they push any of this Pan-African pro-black stuff, they are inherently anti-mulatto. No ifs, ands, or buts. If they're pro-black, they're doing the black fist and they're pro-black, Afrocentric, they are anti-mulatto.
Well, that guy in the video, again, he's not unusual. They're just people. They're just people who simply don't like mixed race people, and he's somebody who doesn't like biracial people because he doesn't see them. And this is a problem that is inherent within. I guess it would be inherent within those communities. And the problem is that they do not see biracial, multiracial, MGM, even people as a distinct group, as different. And one of the things I'd probably say to any person, I'd say, look, I never had this conversation with an African American before, but I would probably say, look, if they brought up certain things, I'd say, look, do you treat somebody who's Mexican the same as you would treat a black person in terms of the way you relate to them and culturally and all that? Now, if that person were to say no, I said, would you treat a person who's of European background, right, the same as you would somebody who's African American? They probably would say, I don't know if they would say no, but they probably say, no, I don't. I said, well, if you could do that with those people, I'd say that with Asian people too. If you could do that with those people, why can't you take that same approach, that same aspect, and apply it to mulatto, biracial, multiracial, mixed race people? And so, and that's the way that I would approach it. I haven't had the chance to do that and talk that way. Like I haven't really gotten to a conversation where I've had to do that. But that's the way that I approach it. If you could treat people of other ethnic and racial groups differently than you would African Americans, but treat them in it doesn't have to be, it could be a respectful way, but in a different but respectful way. Why can't you do that with biracial people? Why can't you do that with mixed race people? Why can't you do that with MGMs?
Because they're coming with an oppressive mindset. Like they have a lot of arrogance. They think they own mulattoes and mixed people. They're weaponizing the one drop rule. That's what it all boils down to. They literally look at us as if we're their property, that we have nowhere to go, that we just have to identify with them. And they use these kind of trauma scare tactics to maneuver us and kowtow us into their influence. This is why they do not extend that liberty and humanity to us. But they'll look at a Mexican, they'll honor the kind of autonomy of a Mexican or a Latino, we can say, or an Asian or these other ethnic groups or racial groups. They accept them being their own entity. But with us,
right, and that's the point. But that's the
they don't
point.
look at the humanity.
They accept everyone else being part of a separate entity. And
Yes.
so the only thing I note is this. If you can do that with the Mexican or other Latinos and Hispanics,
Yes.
if you can do that with the European and you can do that with Asian people and others, why can't you do that with us?
Because they're racist.
Why can you not extend? But again, I'm making a point. I'm making an argument here. So that what I'm saying is I'm applying logic and saying, look, even though I've never done this yet, even though I haven't done this, what I'm saying is if you can do this and you can extend this autonomy and this respect for the differentiation of other groups, then you should be able to apply it to us because you yourself acknowledge that we are different. You yourself acknowledge, just like the guy in the video said, mulatto, mixed race.
Title. Yeah, his title was Mulatto Problem.
Right.
We have to force it on them when we deal with them. We have to basically be like, look, we're going to deal on terms that are respectful. Otherwise, we won't even deal with you. We can deal with other groups,
So,
Latinos
right.
and everyone else. Like, we're good. We have to
But
deal with
see,
them on our terms. Go
but,
ahead.
but see, that's the argument that I use, or that's the argument I would use. So that's the point that I make, right? So that's the point I would make.
Sure.
And that's what I'm saying. That's precisely all we want for the most part. That's essentially what makes people want. Even the ones that see themselves as monoracial, whether it's monoracial black or whatever, some see themselves white. That's essentially what they want as well. They want to be seen as three-dimensional people. They want to be seen as culturally distinctive and ethnically and racially distinctive. That's essentially what they want. And when you make that argument, what it then what it does is it then makes that person exposed, because what you're exposing is the fact that he's basically a contradiction himself, and that's what's going on. He's a contradiction, or she's a contradiction.
Good point. Good
Because
point, Al.
yeah,
I
yeah,
wanted to jump in here because I have a gentleman on the panel. I want to hear what he has to say. I see his comment here. Very good comment. The whole identity is based on being the victim. Exactly. That's literally how they obtain political power. They leverage their kind of victim status for influence and to gain sympathy, and also to use that leverage and victim status to manipulate people to get them to feel sorry for them. But shout out to the guy here on the panel. Go ahead, El Mulatian, if I pronounce that correctly.
El Mulaton.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. So one of y'all had mentioned earlier about how that guy just doesn't like mixed people. They do like us if we submit to them, if we submit to the Black identity, if we submit to the cause, then they'll tolerate us, you know. But if we decide to have our own identity, if we want to do our own thing, then that's a problem, because that's less numbers for them and they can't have that.
Precisely. Yeah, less numbers, less influence, because they want that psychological control. They want to be able to kind of like a video game. They want to be able to push the buttons on the controller and have us kind of do their dirty work. And what it is they want us to be a bridge between the Anglo, the white world, and the black world. And they want to use us as a bridge and to kind of to give them opportunities, right? They look at it as like, oh, we're what they call that, like we break down barriers, or like with the color barrier, like they'll have a mulatto guy in office first. Like even you had this law, the defense contractor in the United States, the last administration and Joe Biden's administration, you had this guy, I forgot his last name. His first name was Lloyd, dark skinned black guy. He was the Department of Defense, the head. But before, they say he's black guy, right? Dark skinned black. Before him, you had who? Mulatto, Colin Powell. So that's how it is. Even like with the judges, the Supreme Court judge, you had, who was the first one? Thurgood Marshall. After him, you had Clarence Thomas. See, so they look at us like that for political power. They know that, oh, the mulatto is going to be the first one there to open the door. But then after the white society is comfortable with the mulatto, then they feel like, oh, the dark skinned black can creep up afterwards. So that's their political strategy. Like you said, they like us if they can use us to open doors for them. But once the black supremacy, once they have no use for you anymore, they're going to throw you away, step on you, and crush you. And a lot
Yeah,
of mulattoes, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things is, like, right now, when they're in the process of trying to obtain more and more power, they'll have this mentality of like, black comes in all shades and you can be any skin color and you can be black. But then once they obtain that power, once they get that power, then they're going to pull rank on you and say, oh, well, the darker ones, we obviously have struggled more, and we obviously have more of a right to it. Then at that point, black no longer becomes, coming in all shades. It now becomes, what they would call colorism.
Yeah, it's interesting how they do that. They're very tricky and sophisticated how they're able to maneuver that dynamic. and how at one day, 1 second, well, black comes in all shades, we're all mixed. But as soon as they see an opportunity to gatekeep, they will all, like in the hive mind, jump on that and basically exclude the mulatto from the conversation. Like they try to do that with Drake, but they underestimated Drake's influence. That's the difference. They kind of messed up with that situation. But you're absolutely right. They will get in that hive mind very quickly and galvanize around a situation. But they're very sneaky how they do that, and it doesn't get called out a lot. Hell yeah, they'll say we're all mixed and everyone's gonna see you as black and we're all a family. But
Yeah,
as
this
soon as it's crazy, they're sneaky. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, this is also just kind of like the nature of power, because this happened with white people as well. Like whenever Anglo-Saxons were the predominant like racial category in America, they held the majority of the power. They didn't believe in this kind of like all-encompassing idea of white. Like Benjamin Franklin explicitly thought that Germans and Swedes were not white. He called them swarthy. He didn't believe them to be white. But once the power of the Anglo-Saxons started waning, then it was like, okay, Germans, they're acceptable. Yeah, we can bring them on in. Because whenever your group has the power, that's when you're most exclusive. But when that power wanes, or when you don't have power and you're trying to obtain power, then you need to build a coalition. You need to have this all-encompassing identity. But they just view us as like a stepping stool, as a way to get their foot in the door. But we're just going to be tossed aside once they get any kind of power.
Very excellent observation. You were spot on. Exactly. And during Benjamin Franklin's time, Germany, they called them Prussian, right? But your observation is spot on. This is like they look at us as a stepping stool. And the thing is very fluid. It fluctuates when they have influence and they don't. It seems like it's like with the election cycles. When it's an election cycle, they're very all inclusive. Once the election cycle's over, then they try to kind of gatekeep and all this stuff. It's hard for me to grasp, and I haven't really dialed in and have documented exactly these trends specifically, but I hope so in the future I'll have more data to analyze, like when they really do this, when they want to bring us in and say we're all part of the family, we're all black, but then they just immediately put the gates up and say, well, you're different than us. It's crazy, and I'm trying to figure out how to gaze and analyze when they do this stuff.
Well, one, like I mentioned earlier, or tried to, I was going to go into earlier, what happened was when you had, Plessy v. Ferguson in the late 19th century, and then the imposition of the one drop rule, what occurred was that mixed race people who now were forced to become be classified as African American, they started, setting up their groups and institutions like the Blue Vein Society. And what doesn't get talked about is the fact that, and maybe this gets into the colorism aspect, or what is called colorism. But what isn't talked about is the fact that these were people that, and I mentioned this earlier with Steph Curry and so-called lighter people, or obviously mixed race people, but lighter people in terms of generations of lighter people, is that individuals basically networked and operated and supported their own, meaning mixed race people. When you have something like the Blue Vein Society, that's essentially set up partially for mixed race people. It's a way for them to maintain a certain kind of cohesion. If you look at Louisiana with the Creole population there, you had specific Creole people. They had their own patois, they had their own language, and they largely operated as a fairly coherent unit. What changed apparently is that what you see is more and more, and it seemed to be after the civil rights movement, especially in the 60s, there seemed to be more of this dovetailing of what was noted earlier, the whole idea black comes in all shades or all colors and so forth. I would argue that probably was not a message that was touted or that black is mixed. I don't think that was a message that was made in African American communities. I don't know specifically, but I don't think it was. I think this is a phenomena that came after the civil rights movement, and that has it kind of been, you know, created and has manifested itself in the past couple decades or more, slightly more. And what's happened is that mixed race people, biracial people, multiracial people, if you talk about the African American community, they're trying to fit within an African American community in greater and greater ways. But the problem is that with the rise not only of biraciality as a separate component, at least in terms of classification and categorization, and the fact that you see more of a color consciousness among African Americans in ways that probably didn't exist years ago. That there are now issues. And what a
especially
number of
now.
biracial people do, they don't, how do I put this?
Well,
I
especially
think I mentioned this
nowadays.
in comment before. Go ahead.
You mentioned the color consciousness, especially now where it's like literally dark skin supremacy, where like, and you see a lot of that on the female side, right? Because with the men, we just have to simply compete. They can talk all this light skin shit all they want, but it doesn't matter. Like we compete. With Drake, it's like the numbers, his music's just too good. People like him, so and but what they do, the beauty, the privilege or the beauty kind of politics is that's where they really try to get with the women hoodwinked, where they talk about the colorism stuff when it's, you know, there's a lot of this pro dark skin stuff out there, which is cool, that's good for them, but the mulattoes can't identify with that. So where does that leave the mulattoes? Like, and the thing is, if they want to take on those battles to help that community out, to me it seems like a waste of time. But just wanted to add my
Well,
2 cents on
it
that.
ultimately is difficult because, again, what you're seeing is this whole colorism thing. It's problematic in the sense that, again, there is, well, not again, but it seems there isn't a defining, again, what changes the defining of African Americans, of the term black. If you're now saying that black means mix and black means coming in all shades, then you're really not defined. Because
Well,
with
they
other
say,
ethnic and racial groups, you know what they look like and you know what their
yeah,
culture is and you know what they're about.
yeah, because
But
you
if you
know
can't define African Americans, that's a problem.
they can't
Go ahead.
define it. Yeah, and we're specific over here, like, and that's the issue. They can't define it. I have a question for the panelist here. He puts, the gentleman here from South Africa, colored man, puts Bantus in America tend to not really gatekeep blackness, as alluding to what Al was just saying. In Africa, blackness is not open to just anyone, they're exclusive. For the most part, it is an exclusive club. You can't just be part of the tribe. But we understand, those of us over here who are more acquainted or initiated, we understand that in America, what Bantus will do is they weaponize the one drop rule that was established by the Anglo-Saxon club. They will weaponize that one drop rule to maneuver us under their influence. So it's for political power. But we have to strategize and understand how to spot it, how to challenge it, and basically destroy it when they try to waver and use this one drop rule over our heads for political power, because they're getting away with it too much. And it doesn't help that we have prominent mulattoes who go along with it because of the numbers, right? Like a Paula Patton or Zendaya, or even a Drake, for instance. We can pick people like that where they like want to pretend to be black because they want to appease and get an audience, but at the same time, it's like it has negative effects because there's, quote unquote, pun intended, mixed messages. We
Yeah.
need a level of consistency. Go ahead, the
Yeah,
gentleman.
I actually never knew this, what he mentioned about blackness in South Africa. So I'd be interested to hear more about that. But I think Al was right about the definition of black. Like as I stated earlier, like they need it to be kind of all encompassing. But one of the parts that's so incoherent about it is like black comes in all shades. So literally, you can be white and you can have white skin and you're still black. Literally, you can have blue eyes and you can still be black. You can have blonde hair, and you can still be black. So basically, what they end up doing is just saying that black is essentially all the phenotypes that exist in like the human species. So that's not a coherent racial identity. If literally all phenotypes are included, then what are you saying? You're essentially saying that black is synonymous with human being, because and you're essentially saying that you can't really judge whether or not a person is black by their skin color, by their hair texture, by their hair color, by their eye color, by anything. So what does it even mean? And I would argue that they have deliberately made it ambiguous because that allows them to then like gatekeep and control. Okay, who gets to like truly be black? And if they ever have to be pinned down to a specific definition, then they can't use it loses that flexibility that they need for political gains, you know?
Exactly, the numbers game. That's the thing. It's that numerical numbers game. Yeah, precisely.
Hmm. Yeah, and you made a very good point there. I have actually heard people say that black is not based on skin color. I've actually heard that stated, that it's attitude, that it's demeanor, that it's, I don't know, culture. I don't know if I heard that argument. Go ahead.
I wanted to add something just quickly. Sorry to interrupt, but I just because it slipped my mind. But to follow up on the gentleman was saying is that why a lot of black people, what they'll push that argument that, well, black comes in all shades, all skin colors. They're basically saying that, in one term, that, well, race is just a social construct or whatever. Okay, that's okay. But they're trying to claim ownership, like you said, of like the human race, that they're the original and that everyone comes from them. It's like they feed their own ego, telling themselves that, well, everyone is originally from black, and so you're all our children, we're the original people. It's like a delusion they tell themselves to like it's just very bizarre how they operate like that, and how they try to, this false bravado that they're like the fathers and stewards of civilization, and that everybody comes from them, and it's science, and but none of them can kind of articulate it, where it's convincing. But it's just it's very crazy that looseness of how they kind of pick and choose who gets to be black. My whole thing is the mulattoes realize we're not playing that game with them. Like, they can play that with other people, like about, well, everyone comes from us and we're from Africa, and they can play that with the Latinos and other groups. Okay, that's fine. But the mulattoes over here, like, we are exercising autonomy and sovereignty. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I
We've got
think
nothing but mulattoes on the panel here. Go ahead. Yep.
yeah, I think one of the assumptions they're making, and it may be a correct assumption, it may be incorrect, but the assumption is that the first humans that ever existed in Africa were exactly the same as the current modern day Africans, and we don't know that to be true. Like, I think without a doubt we can say genetically they were different, because you can't say that the first humans are genetically exactly the same as the modern day Africans, because then you would be trying to say that like mutations and evolution don't ever happen, when in fact they actually do. They could probably, make the argument that maybe the first humans had like dark skin. That I mean, we don't know for sure whether or not they did, but one thing I think we can say for sure is that the genetic makeup of the first humans is not the same as the current modern day Africans, because people change over time. Mutations are constantly happening, and they like to say, like white people are have a bunch of mutations for like blue eyes and all this stuff. But the thing is, like, every single human being has mutations. We all have mutations. Every single race has mutations. So yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Because even like with albino people who are black, like, isn't that a genetic mutation, right? The albinism. But even with the blue eyes, what's crazy is because you'll have people who are even mulattoes or mixing in with other like black or like griff or other kind of configurations, but like you'll have down the line, I've seen images or video of these people and they got blue eyes, but they have like darker skin and kind of looser hair. So they've been mixed for generations and generation, but that gene is still dominant. They still have blue eyes. So how recessive is it really if like their skin is like dark brown, almost black to a degree, but their
Yeah.
eyes are blue, right? So it's sciences and biology is not as easily predictable as some people kind of, make it seem to be. There are a lot of anomalies present.
The
Yeah.
thing is, everything is a mutation. Every single phenotypic trait that exists in humans is a mutation. That's how we develop our traits, is through mutating. And even individuals have their own like individual mutations. Like whenever you inherit your DNA from your mother and your father, you don't get an exact copy. There's some errors in that DNA transcription. So you have your own personal mutations. Everybody has a mutation. Every single trait that we have is a mutation. So it's not really you're not owning mixed race people by telling us that we have like, mutated DNA or something.
No, excellent point. I love the way you articulated that. Excellent. Bunny Strange, you just hopped on the panel. Please share us your thoughts. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Hi to everybody on the panel tonight. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, it was what a great topic, and everybody was just a lot was going on in the chat, and it was difficult to listen to that babbling Bantu talk about one of ours like that. But one of the things that I don't think ever gets brought up, and that definitely bothers me as a mulatto woman, is this idea of choosing. There's always in society, and um there's this kind of this onus that's thrown on us about choosing. And I feel like that needs to be um analyzed and addressed, because really we're not choosing one side or another. Really, it's like Al said, it's how you were raised, it's where you grow up. So there needs to be more pushback on that rhetoric. Why are we accepting, it's like, it's not like at the tender age of 13 we go into the forest as mulattoes, and we trek up Mulatto Mountain, and then we sit on top of Mulatto Mountain, and we meditate there for 3 days about what side we're going to choose. And then we come down from Mulatto Mountain and we pick, yes, it's going to be, I think I'll side with my white side or the black side. I mean, really, it has a lot to do with who you grew up with. There's not like this choice. So I don't know why we as mulattoes accept that and we don't push back on that more. Like, um why we just take on this, like we made this like dramatic choice in our life, when really it has more to do with um where we grew up and how we were raised.
Yeah, the environmental factor, from my understanding, is the most significant one in our upbringing. The environmental factor, because it's the behaviors you've seen that were normalized, your tolerance threshold, what you were exposed to. It's like I always laugh because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, I never put up with racist shit from white people. If white people challenged me or tried to like quote check me, I never put up with that shit. I always challenged them. So when as a standard mulatto, navigating black spaces and seeing how uppity a lot of them would get towards mulatto men, I'm like, what the hell makes you people think I'm going to put up with your shit? When I grew up in an environment where I never tolerated anything from your masters, why do you think I'm going to tolerate your crap? So I realized, look, I just got to do my own thing.
Yeah,
Mulattoes, yeah.
Yeah, Vanguard. I think it's, again, it's people that are not mulatto talking about people that are mulatto, and that's one of the things that I've kind of seen on the internet is, people not understanding that it's not really like it's this choice, like definitively. It's really more about how you were raised, who you grew up around. And I don't think that we should be um feeling like, I don't know, I just feel like there's this onus that's put on us that shouldn't be. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really kind of ridiculous. Um and and I think that's the problem when you have people that are not mulatto that are speaking about mulatto issues and experiences. And I just feel like that is something that needed to be addressed.
Yeah, I would add on to that. Like, there's this mentality that a lot of them have, that because you have African ancestry, you therefore like owe them something. Um,
I agree
and
with that.
that is not true at all. Like, just because we have something in common, we both have African ancestry, doesn't mean I owe you anything. Now, I would say that, yeah, I owe my family something because they've actually like cared for me, they've been there for me. But if you're just some random and you're like, hey, I have African ancestry too, I don't owe you anything. That goes for like white side, black side, or anything like that. And that's a big part of why in that video you showed Vanguard was like the guy felt slighted because he was like, hey, you're supposed to like bow before me. Like, we have African ancestry and I have more African ancestry. Therefore, I'm like better. And he didn't like that. And they also just have this mentality that just by virtue of having African ancestry, that you're like black by default. They don't view you as like a single, mixed person, like an individual that's mixed with things. They view you as, oh, you're a black person, but you unfortunately have some like colonizer blood in you. And obviously that goes back to the one drop rule that's just like ingrained in people's heads now. But I think that's just one of the things I want to hit home to all the mulattoes out there is like, you don't owe the black community anything. Okay, you don't owe the white community anything either. You owe your family, and you can decide if you owe the mulatto community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like for the younger mulattoes, the thing is, I do feel like we do owe it to the younger mulattoes to give them something. And I'm a millennial, so I'm using my voice in the best that I can. But I think all of us, we're all about around the same age. I know Al's a little older than me, but I'm in my mid 30s. Like, yeah, no, honestly, I'm up here spending time talking to you guys, doing this. Like, no, this is a community service. We owe it to the younger people to give them a sense of pride, to give them a sense of pride and urgency, and to not waste time, and to invest in themselves, invest in their future. It's the least we can do. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Bunny. Yep.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. I was very offended by that video, that he would suggest that she needs to denounce her and be ashamed of her European heritage. I mean,
That's how they are. The black extremists, the pro blacks, like
yeah,
that's how they're very extreme like that. Yeah.
they're in for a rude awakening, because there's definitely mulattoes who not only acknowledge but are proud of their European ancestry just as much as they're proud of their African ancestry. And I mean, that way of thinking, that pro-black pan-Africanism, it doesn't work for, how is that going to work for somebody who's half white? That's not going to work for us. I mean, because in
Yeah.
order to be in their group or be accepted, not that anybody's looking for their acceptance, but you would have to be ashamed of a whole nother half of you. And
Right.
that's like, I mean,
Yeah,
They
you're
don't even
absolutely Go
It's
ahead.
not.
They don't even care like whether or not you have a good relationship with like your white family, because if you do, they will give you ample reasons to why you should not have a good relationship. They will literally try to divide you between you and your family because they need you to identify as black, and
And
it's
he's a stranger. He's, you know,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, why would you throw your family, like Vanguard was saying throughout the stream, good relationships with good people, because at the end of the day, that's what's the most important, for some random, you know person.
Some will do it like Kaepernick.
And so
Kaepernick, they want to pull rank. It's what it is. I like what the gentleman here was saying too. Is like where because they look like they honestly they project this crap where they say you think you're mixed, you think you're better than us, but it's projection because they think because they're pure African or they're more African than you, they think they're better than you, and like they use their blackness, they weaponize the one drop rule, and they think that you owe them loyalty because they want to weaponize that one drop rule thinking you got some black blood, so you're just the same as me, and they try to use that and weaponize it for power, and it's very disgusting how they go about it. It's very uncivilized and unethical. I'm trying to get mulattoes to get out of that trap. You don't owe them anything. They demand your loyalty, but they give you nothing. They taunt you, threaten you, gaslight you, say that you're confused. Even the lady in the video I was commenting on, she was nothing but nice. She's sitting there with her white mom doing a TikTok dance to Doja Cat. She was a very nice, pleasant lady. But because she did not fully identify as black, they look at that as treason. That's why that guy, his tone, he's calling her out her name, calling her a bee and a hoe and dumb, and using all of these inflammatory slurs towards her. We're like, why? Why do they have that negative, hostile position towards someone who doesn't identify with them? They think they own you. And that's a problem and that we have to address. And it's important for us to develop cohesion, think tanks, strategize how we move forward for the next generations. But yeah.
and to
I don't
start.
even think it's about
Well,
ownership per se.
uh,
Go
one
ahead.
second, Al. I'll let you go. I just want to have Bunny finish her thoughts and you can go, Al. Go ahead, Bunny.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was watching an Exoticals United video, and this is the whole reason why I'm not with the whole mixed light skin uh combo that they think that they have. She was saying that she was speaking for mixed race people or mulattoes, and I don't know what her racial background is, but I don't think she's mulatto. And she was saying that we choose what side we're going to go with depending on what we look like. So if we look more white, we go with the whites. If we look more black, we go with the blacks. And to me, like, I don't see that as being, to me, it's where you were raised, who raised you, and that type of thing. So again, like, I don't like Exoticals United in the whole mixed race, light skin, whatever stupid combo they have, because that is not the reality for
They're
most
not mulatto.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, just to be clear publicly, you guys, I, I don't watch Exoticals United's content. When I first heard of like the Golden Sphere, I found her channel and
I
but
only watch a video if I know she's speaking. She likes to speak for mulatto and mixed race people, but
she's not mulatto. She
she's
doesn't
not
speak for us.
mulatto.
She
Yeah.
doesn't speak for mulatto women, and and that's they'll use terms to kind of hoodwink and put us together and the weaponized one drop rule and stuff. And look, the thing is with her, I just stopped supporting her. I unsubscribed because of the misandry, the blatant misandry I saw from her platform, the decentering men. And she even put a comment saying she deletes comments from men because men start fights between women. But look at it. You're a lady, I'm a man, we're all civil having a conversation. And so it's like we can do this. But from her, I saw like the misandry stuff. I was like, I cannot support and endorse that. But like I said, she's not mulatto. She doesn't speak for mulatto people, And it's good on her. She's got what she's doing. She's way more successful than me, so I'm not shading her. It's just the content she produces, it doesn't speak for what we're doing over here. And so for the mulattoes who might think that it's like it's not a mulatto space, the exotical community, unless they're mulatto identified, but we'll see. Yeah.
I wanted to make
So
one more
what I was
point.
going to say was
I think
the
yeah, go ahead.
guy in the video, he's just a standard bigot. He's a standard racist. He doesn't like mixed race people. It's evident.
Well, he doesn't like
And
white people. He doesn't like white people either. That's the thing, right? He's
right, but in regards to how he treated the lady in the video, he just doesn't like mixed race people. And what you have to understand as a mixed race person, if you go into a monoracial community like that, you're going to have a percentage of people who simply do not like biracial, multiracial, mixed race people.
well,
They
quickly, Al.
see them for various
Quickly,
reasons.
I wanted to add something quickly. Well, the gentleman was saying here, which I agree with him. See, they don't like you if you don't identify with them. They like you if you identify with them and you can be their punching bag. That is the critical thing to stress out here. The reason why he had a lot of animosity towards her, because she's proud to be biracial. She's proud of both of her races. She has her white mom there making a video. She's proud of that. She's proud of her European heritage. See, that's when they don't like you, but they like you if they can use you. So that's what the gentleman here was saying. But go ahead, Al.
Well, actually, the point I'm making is they don't even necessarily like you, even if you try to integrate and you try to
They'll
be
tolerate you. Right.
monoracial. Yeah, they'll tolerate you. The point that I make is this: you have a percentage of people who do not like mixed race people. They do not like biracial people. They do not like multiracial people because they're different, and they know that you're not black. They know it. Notice the guy said, "Oh, she's mulatto." He could say she should be black or she should align with black people all he wants. But at the end of the day, he knows she's different. He knows it because he said it. And his saying it indicates that he understands. And at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is you're going to have people who simply don't like biracial people. And I think this is one of the things that probably isn't talked about. It's one of the obstacles that biracial people have to deal with if they want to be integrated within a black community or monoracial community. And that's one of the struggles they have. So one of the things I've just said is, look, it's up to you. If you want to fit within that community, then that's fine. But you will probably be mistreated. There are
Yeah,
people who will not like you.
there's always
And
going
that's
to
the
be
reality.
these people that in that community that just will not like you. It's on either side, and that's how you know you're not a part of that community. That's how you know you're not black. Whenever like some really dark person goes into the black community, there's never a question about what they are. There's never like, oh, I don't like you, dark person that's just like me. No. It's they don't they There's always going to be people that don't like mixed people because we're not the same as them. We're not black. And that's why we need to have our own community, our own space where we don't have to worry about that.
Exactly. That's my whole goal here. That's everything that I'm envisioning and what I'm doing. That's the whole goal. I love the fact that you guys are up here engaging, having this conversation. I am truly honored and blessed that you guys hit the panel and jumped up here. I thank you guys so much. We're almost at the 3 hour mark. I'm going to close it down because I'm going to go to bed and wake up and do the whole routine over again. But I'll give everyone a last word. So if everyone wants to have their last word, I'll start with Bunny. If she wants to go ahead and have her last word, then I'll go to Al and then I'll go to the other gentleman. But go ahead, Bunny.
I just want to say it was a really good topic tonight, and to just keep um, pointing out how the pro-wax are not innocent, they're not all welcoming, and they're not the place for mulattoes. This is the place for mulattoes.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really do. And I'll talk to you next time.
Yes. Talk to you next time.
Perfect. Cool. Al, if you have any final thoughts, you can go ahead and share that, please.
Yeah, I guess one of the things, it was interesting talking to Elroy in the chat, the gentleman from South Africa.
Yeah, he's
And
great.
he noted,
He's fantastic. Yeah.
yeah, and he noted that when you're in South Africa with the coloreds, the mixed race people, there is, of course, a distinction. Of course, the coloreds are a separate and distinct group as a mixed race group. But what people have to understand about that situation, as he noted, was they are not generally seen and not really seen as the same as black people in South Africa and as therefore as Africans. And this is for several reasons, primarily cultural, because when you're dealing with African people, you're dealing with people who can speak indigenous languages, right? They can speak Xhosa, or they can speak um, uh, the tongue of the Zulu, or if they're Maasai, I don't know if they're Maasai in South Africa, but the language of the Maasai and so forth, Igbo, so forth.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I know what you're saying.
so, right, so they are distinctly different, not only ethnically and racially, but they are also distinctive culturally. So it's not, there's no integration if you are a colored person, because colored people speak Afrikaans and they have their own culture as colored people, right? With biracial people in the United States, one of the issues is that they used to have uh, at least a kind of mixture of cultures, right? E. Franklin Frazier kind of notes this in his book, Black Bourgeoisie. He said the mulatto as a class were culturally different and distinctive. But that's changed over the years. So it's harder for mixed race people, biracial, multiracial, so forth, to fit in the United States because there isn't a distinction and differentiation culturally, ethnically, racially in all those areas between African Americans and, let's just say, mulatto Americans or biracial, multiracial Americans, right? It isn't the same as in a place like South Africa,
Agreed.
or to some extent even Brazil, although Brazil's also very fluid. But
Yeah.
and so that's the issue that a lot of biracial people have, is they do not have a distinctive way of distinguishing themselves other than their phenotype and their aesthetic. And that's because that was lost a long time ago. It was lost, when the changes in the law happened, and mixed race people and biracial and multiracial people became integrated within an African American polity or African American corpus or body. And so what that led to is a lot of confusion. It led to a lot of issues because there isn't a sense of what an African American is. That's what I brought up earlier. So if you have people stating black comes in all shades, black is something that can be seen in different looks and in different ways, and I've even heard people say black isn't skin color. It has nothing to do with skin color. It's attitude, it's the way you speak, it's the way you act, it's the way you carry yourself, it's all of these other things. If there isn't a differentiating that is clear and distinct as it is with other ethnic and racial groups, and you can't tell what a black person is, then biracial people are going to be impacted by that. They're going to find it hard for them.
And it's on
And
us.
that's one of the problems that happens with them. And so that's why they're going through a lot of the problems or issues that they're going through, because they're trying to fit into a community where the standards clear standards really don't exist. And that's the issue. It's not just their issues in trying to fit in and having people like the guy in the video are bigoted to deal with, or even people who kind of demand that they choose one side or another. There's not even any real standards, because you're going to have some people who say, well, it's two parents. Some people will say, oh, it's the way you look, or it's the way you carry yourself, and it's not skin color. You understand? So it's more than one issue when you think about it. It's the problem of standards that exist, unlike, say, other groups. And it's the other obstacles that biracial people have when dealing within a monoracial community. If they want to be part of that community, or they're just trying to get by in that community. So those are the issues, and those are the problems. So it can be multifaceted for these biracial people, mulatto, multiracial, etc. And that's something that's what you have to look at when it comes to this country. Again, in other countries, they're at least distinct. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just finishing up with your thoughts. And like you said, because you mentioned the gentleman here, Elroy Swartz, where it's like they'll one drop you into whiteness or other in the African continent. But in North America, you have the one drop where it's in reverse. They kind of try to attempt to one drop you into blackness. It's our job on us to basically push back and challenge that. And as if you stated with the cultural component, it's really on us to develop these cultural markers to distinguish ourselves differently, not just phenotypically, which is obvious. You look at us, we don't look like them, but we have to establish lexicon, language, and behavior and etiquette and culture, and that distinguishes us different from them. That is the goal. That is where we're going to move towards. Thank you so much, Al, for jumping up on the panel. You had a lot of valuable points. I'll talk to you next time. Thank you. And you're up, buddy. I appreciate you hopping up on the panel. Go ahead and share your thoughts.
You're so funny. Just you're avoiding my name so much. You just call me buddy, gentleman, that guy.
El Mulatoin.
Okay. Here we go. El Mulaton.
El Mulaton.
El Mulaton.
Yeah, my Spanish is horrible. That's Espanol, right?
Oh man, yeah.
Yo aprendo español siempre 10, but my Spanish, I'm working on it, but it's
muy bien.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last words. Basically, we are gonna constantly be getting hate, like from the guy in this video. But the appropriate reaction is obviously, like you said, not to play the victim, but to channel that into some kind of action, some kind of positive action. So one of the things we need to realize is that they are doing us a favor by showing their true colors. Whenever they attack us like this for doing the simplest thing, just saying that you're proud of what you are, that you like what you are, you're not ashamed of it. They're attacking us, hurling all kinds of insults. Let them do that. Let them show their true feelings, how they really feel about us. That is going to help us more than it is going to help them. And then also, just like the most close-knit communities that exist out there have all faced some kind of like persecution. Now, I'm not saying that, what we're experiencing is anywhere near, those kinds of levels of persecution, but whenever these communities were attacked, they looked inward. They either built a community if they didn't have one, or if they already had one, they looked inward inside the community for solutions. They didn't look outside of the community, which I see a lot of like Black Americans doing. They're always trying to blame anybody except for themselves for their problems, and then looking for solutions outside of the community rather than trying to solve their own problems. So that's my last word. Thank you for having me up here. This was my first time joining the stream, so this was totally awesome. Shout out to everybody. Renata Mulata. Who else do I know in here? I think she's the only other person I know in here. But yeah, you can catch me on TikTok at Mongrel Uprising. I'm also on Twitter sometimes, on X. But yeah, that's it.
Well, shout out to you. I really appreciate you hopping up here. I want to give you credit because I actually shared a clip of yours. This is all you. This clip here.
It's not acceptance when they're constantly suspicious of you. It's not acceptance when they attack you for acknowledging your other side. It's not acceptance when you have to censor yourself. It's not acceptance when they use your other side to ridicule you. It's not acceptance when you can't have different opinions. It's not acceptance when they constantly remind you that you're not like them.
Well done. Well done. Bravo. I mean, that is excellent work. So that's all you. That's all your work. All credit to you. That's all you. I just merely shared it to my channel, my other channel. But yeah, that's all you. And I saw that. I was like, man, this is marvelous. This is we need more of that. We need more of that because your articulation is superb. And that's something I can work on, my articulation. But yeah, like
Yep.
you said, we have to take the energy. Like, it's a good thing that we see, like, the guy in the video, like, they're hateful and resentful for the fact that we're proud of who we are. That should energize us to be more active and to be better advocates for ourselves. So yeah, man, everything you're saying is right on.
Yeah, and it goes back to what's that thing happening now? Black fatigue. Like I think
Right.
a lot of mulattoes are going to start feeling that. Like they're going to start feeling that black fatigue whenever they're seeing other mulattoes just get attacked for being themselves. And it's going to help us. They are sending people our way. That's what they're doing.
They're sending people our way. Precisely. That's exactly what it is. These mulattoes, they're going to look for answers. They're searching for answers, and then they're going to go on YouTube and type up mulatto or biracial or something like that. And what's going to happen? They're going to find my channel. They're going to find your channel. They're going to go on TikTok, and it's going to grow. This is only going to grow. Thank you so much for hopping up on here. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. I look forward to talking to you again. All right, guys, this has been an excellent stream. One of the most fulfilling and best streams I think I've had in a while. Your guys' engagement is everything. This is a community effort. I am nobody without you guys. All of you make this possible. Let's keep this momentum going. Let's be our own best advocates and stay positive. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Sayonara.